He got banned from Airbnb because he ranted about these two Airbnb people who wanted him to. They got mad that he didn't do the dishes, and it's like I'm with him on that. You can't. If I'm paying you to rent this place out, it's like if I go to a hotel, I can't. You can't charge me for. Dishes.
I leave the fucking dishes.
Yeah, but it's like cleaning. There's a cleaning fee issue or something like that, and so he goes on his podcast and he makes fun of these two women who rented out their Airbnb to him, and he got banned from Airbnb.
Fun.
Honestly, I think they're both right.
That's for you.
Great. Oh,
so I do celebrity impressions. That's basically my act.
Oh shit.
So I gave you a list of like I think over 50 people that I do. So if you want to use that at any given point to
test you out,
sure, you can feel free.
Oh,
I can do most of these to like I'll say like a 70 to 75%.
I can kind of do some of these, but not very good. I really want to up my impression catalog, and you got a whole fucking little book here. I mean, I'm gonna hold it up to the camera.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like I don't want to leave them out.
I just gave ones that I have like a list of the ones I do, like I can. So here's the thing about doing an impression. There are ones that like you can get where you sound 100% like the person. Like right. There are ones that like are going to be actual sound alike. I mean, they all do this with AI now, but like back in the day, you could potentially get hired to do voice match. Like if they need another like Lightning McQueen like says something like that we didn't get a good take on from Owen Wilson. Instead of hiring Owen Wilson to come down and paying him his day rate, they just hire an impressionist to come in and it's like, hey, we need Lightning McQueen to say like, oh, let's get that up for you or something like that.
Yeah, so, or like video games.
Yeah,
or like spin-offs.
Of course, like there used to be a whole other industry for that. So like that's where you really need to be
the guy. I think the guy who does Woody is Tom
Hanks' brother.
Tom Hanks' brother. Yeah. Like it's just so funny because of
Jim
course
Hanks.
Yeah, Jim Hanks. He's in all the games. He's in all the movies.
And actually, there's a funny story about, tragic story about that. So, you know who the original voice of Shrek was, right?
It was originally Chris Farley.
It was Chris Farley, and they had 80% of it done. They needed him to record a couple more lines. They asked one of his brothers. So he's got 3 brothers. One of them's an actor, Kevin. He's currently like he's a stand-up and he does like things here. He was on Curb Your Enthusiasm and a couple other things. But his other brother's like kind of skinny, also an actor, and sounds just like him.
Okay.
And they asked him to come in and finish it, and it was like emotional. His brother just died, and he didn't think it was going to be the right thing to do. Had he just gone and done it, he would have been. He actually talks about the amount of regret because he's like, I would have then been the voice of Shrek. And my career potentially could have taken off. Now it's on the the heels / coattails of your very famous like transcendent older brother. But the crazy thing about that is they scrap it and then they have to spend millions of dollars to redo some of the animation because Mike Myers is very particular about the voice he wants to do, and the Scottish just doesn't line up with what they had already animated, so they have to do all this work to reanimate Mike Myers' mouth.
Wow.
Or Shrek's mouth to match Mike Myers. So anyway, like the point I was trying to make is that like you can be a sound-alike, and sound-alike is great. Sound-alike is the magic trick. So like if you have no material, you have absolutely no material, but you go out and you just say the line, whatever you want to say as the person, and you sound just like them, the audience will just be like, oh my God. Like, so that's the magic trick. Now, the thing that like makes it excellent, and I think that Caliendo is probably the best one at this. Like, there's this guy out there right now.
I know Frank Caliendo.
There's this guy, Matt Friend, who I will trash him till the cows come home because I think he's a terrible comic. I also think his impressions kind of suck. Yeah. But, like, he doesn't have... He just did...
Can I ask you, before you go on,
sure.
How many people are even big in the impression community? Like, how many people are there? Because I get the impression that it's not that many people.
So that's kind of why I stick to it in Chicago, because I think I'm, like, one of the only people... Like, I can't say I'm the only person that does an impression in their act.
Yeah.
That's not true. I mean, people are doing... I see when I'm out and about and I'm writing and I'm doing open mics, I see people doing Trump. Like, I see people doing, like, handful of people here and there will, like, test some things out. There's this one kid that I saw...
He'll do RFK.
Yeah, sure. Know. Like, popular people like that, like, would be topical that you would do a voice on.
Yeah.
But, like, as far as, like, people who are, like, truly dedicated to it, like, I think I might be one of the only ones that, like, takes that on, and it's
that you would label yourself an impressionist.
100%.
Yeah.
And like I've taken flack from that. I've gotten like side eyes from people.
Well, it's like
about
comedy.
that.
It's like stand up versus improv. I think people just they hear impressionist and they get mad.
Honest to God, like I've had people say like I hate impressions, and then I go up and do a set, and it's just like, well, shit, you've just really created a hostile environment for me, and also you're trying to be like, oh, it ain't cool to do that, so like, okay, I'm not cool, fine.
I just think it's lame.
Here's my Ray Romano impression. Right?
And you're talking about like the person who like runs it, or the people who are hanging out with you, or just people that are hanging there. Like who would be saying that?
I don't know. I just like over the years. Like I have really awesome long-term high-standing friends in the community. I'm not going to say any of their names, but like friends that love my shit and love my material and love my impressions and have told me as much. And so like when I hear those people give me compliments on it, it's like, okay, first of all, thank you for telling me this now here in 2026. Wish I heard that in 2020, or 2019, or like whenever, when I was a little bit like earlier in my career with this. But like, it makes me want to keep going. But I just know that there are people who throw side eye to it, who don't think it's like, who really, it's not like just out there, you know, set up, punchline, punch up, punchline, close type of thing. It's its own thing, and I'm fine with that. And I try and build a lot of different stuff. Like I love, so one of my biggest influences, and I'll always say he's one of my biggest influences no matter what happens to him in his career and who he's hurt, but Louis C.K. is like the guy. And Louis can do an act out better than anyone, and I just love the way that he plays with his own voice, the way that he can take you on a journey and can take you like into the whatever the minutia is that he's talking about. Like I remember this one bit he does about like these girls talking in a coffee shop or something like that, and he's just like, yeah, and like these girls come in and they're just like, or like whatever he winds up doing. It's like, that's perfect. I know those girls who sound like that or whatever it is. And so I try and do that a little bit. Like I want to find material where I can go play the character. I want to be able to play whoever it is in the scene. And it's weird because like sometimes that turns into me setting up a sketch that I just then perform solo. So like I got this bit that I do about how queef isn't in the dictionary, and it turns into like a council of British men disseminating different words for the dictionary, and I play all the characters. So I play like 5 or 6 different British guys who are, you know, talking about whether or not, you know, queef can be in the dictionary. And I love that bit, and then it took me a really long time to create that bit and write that bit. But I've done other things where like, you know, I'm doing just act out type character work, and I love that. But ultimately, I also love doing impressions and doing the celebrity stuff. And I think it's what's really important again is like, and it's not just sounding like it, it's having a point of view. And if you have a point of view that makes sense to you, or a joke that you can use to support it, the material always is what's going to support doing that kind of thing. And like, that's why this guy, Matt Friend, he doesn't have material. He has like some like he can do a really great Howard Stern. He can do a really great Trump. But like, he's just like kind of doing like ramble chatter with celebrities. What do you mean when you say
point of view then? Like what is a point of view in an impression?
Point of view is like having an understanding. Okay, I'll give you an example. I do, and he's absolutely not like this in real life, but when I was much younger in my career, I'd say when I was in my late 20s, I would do Paul Giamatti in my act. And I was a pretty sad, like, chubby incel who didn't have much, you know, success with women. I wouldn't say that I was a Lothario by any stretch of the imagination. And I would use Paul Giamatti to kind of personify a lot of the things that I was going through. So it's not like, it's like, hey, this is Paul Giamatti, like, at a Dunkin' Donuts ordering coffee. It was like, hey, this is like what Paul Giamatti sounds like after he's been turned down for a date or something like that. So it's just like, oh, well, you're not going to hit up OkCupid once again. Here I am, Paul Giamatti. I mean, that's a shitty example, but like, I think it's about how you present the person, as opposed to like, again, it's the writing that you provide for it, as opposed to just being like, hey, you know what Sean Connery sounds like when he says I'm Bond, James Bond, and just going and doing the line, you know? And that's why Caliendo, like, if you go watch Caliendo's special that he had in like the early 2000s, it's a DVD one, I forget the name of it, but like he just like does like 100 impressions, and every single one of them has just great writing behind it.
Yeah. He's also just incredible. He is like really, really fucking good.
What I love about him is he'll do little videos where he'll do tutorials on how to do people.
Oh, really?
And
like specific people?
Yes. So I've had like, there are like white whales of your impression journey, like people that you love, that you really want to do an impression of, but you can't, like, you just can't get it for whatever reason. Like your instrument can't produce that, or like there's just something that's blocking you from being able to produce the sound.
I finally figured out Alex Jones. It took me a long time.
Let me hear it.
So okay, I'll show you how I used to do it, because how I used to do it it's terrible. So oh no, I'm talking about, well, I was mixing two things up in my head. So the way I used to do Alex Jones, I would just used to fuck my throat up. How I used to, so I can't even show you how I used to do that, because it was like my voice would hurt when I was done, and I knew I was doing something wrong. But now I realize it's up in here, and basically, if you got it in here, you can do all kinds of things.
I can hear the placement of it, yeah.
You got to get it up in here. And I get what you're saying about point of view, because basically, I think these people are coming for us, and you need to have a point of view, because if you don't know that they're coming for you right now, and I mean right now, they are coming for you. If you don't know that, you don't know anything.
Well, Jesse Ventura too.
Yeah, it is a little Jesse Ventura. It is. And like, speaking of Jesse Ventura and Alex Jones and impressions, Will Sasso.
Sasso's the fucking man.
Sasso's the fucking man, and his Jesse Ventura is fucking phenomenal.
His Jesse Ventura
and there's a reason
is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Everything he does is phenomenal. I tell you what,
that was pretty good.
Sasso he used to do on his Vine, he would do like these POV videos of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they were the funniest fucking things in the world. He'd be like Arnold Schwarzenegger driving around, and he'd like have a cigar, and he'd be like, yeah, we go diving in Toronto, or like whatever he was doing.
How could you hate impressions and then watch that? Like, I don't even understand.
I don't understand. I mean, it's the funniest shit.
It's the funniest shit in the world.
Absolutely.
And his Alex Jones also. His Alex Jones is so fucking good. Like, I thought mine was okay, and then I watch him, and I'm like, okay, there's something I'm missing. Like, I'm still, and then what I have now is still not great, but it's not hurting me. Like, before it used to hurt.
So this is the best advice I've ever gotten about impressions from someone that I very much admire, and specifically for his voiceover work. But this guy pretty much made a career out of one impression. Do you know who Maurice LaMarche is?
Sounds really familiar.
You will when I tell you who he does. Maurice LaMarche is the voice of the Brain on Pinky and the Brain. He's on Futurama. He's on, like, you name the animated show, and he does voices on it.
Okay.
In the early 90s, he was known for doing his Orson Welles impression. Okay, and Orson Welles literally is the Brain.
Yeah.
So he was doing a talk at the SAG Foundation when I lived in Los Angeles. So I went out there I went to the SAG Foundation to listen to his talk, and he was just really lively, really cool dude. And I got to talk with him afterward, and I said, hey, I've been trying to do James Gandolfini forever, and like, I'm a huge Sopranos fan, and I have a bunch of different angles that I could take with Sopranos, and I'd love to do that, but I don't know how to do a James Gandolfini, and like, every time I try, I set up and I fail. What's your recommendation? And he goes, what you need to do is you need to go find someone who does them well, and then you watch them, and you will find something in the way that they're able to do it that will unlock something for you, which is interesting, because when I was a young man, like talking 15, 16, and I realized that I had this gift and I was trying to hone it, I would listen to Stephen Lynch and Jay Moore and Kevin Spacey to try and learn how to do Christopher Walken. Because like, Kevin Spacey had done this like fucking transcendent Christopher Walken on Saturday Night Live. They did like Star Wars auditions, and he did like Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, and he did Christopher Walken as Han Solo, and it was like one of those things where I heard it, and like, it's still one of the things I do to try and get into Walken if I need, like, the two things that I do if I need to do a Christopher Walken impression are, I do Jay Moore from The Simpsons, which is Christopher Walken reading Goodnight Moon, and then Kevin Spacey on Saturday Night Live doing Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon. Chewie here said you're looking for passage to the Alderaan system. Yes, if it's a fast ship. Ha! fast ship. You never heard of the Millennium Falcon? It's a ship that made the Castle Run in less than 12 parsecs. She's fast enough for you, old man.
So what was holding you back before that then?
Of finding that, I think probably like puberty. I don't know. I just I just like, got this new voice and I was trying to figure out how to control it. I'm thinking of like the ones that I just knew how to do right away. Oh, I know exactly who it is, and he's my hero, so it's kind of crazy that like I was born with the ability to just do him right off the bat.
I was thinking of when you said James Gandolfini.
Oh, Gandolfini.
What was holding you back from him?
Gandolfini, it's a very it's very nuanced because it's not his voice. He's doing a character voice himself, and it's like I think that they're like I can do it now. So I did what Maurice LaMarche said to do. I went and I watched people who could do it. Like Aries Spears does a fucking phenomenal Tony Soprano. So I've watched people and I've kind of figured out from my friend Chris Grieco does an amazing.
I've seen him does those videos.
I'm in that.
Oh, you're in some of those.
Yeah, I'm in.
Who do you do?
He can't do Paulie Walnuts for whatever reason, and I told him he probably could if he tried. But I do Paulie Walnuts in those Sopranos Harry Potter ones.
And it's him and Peyton Ruddy and who else has been in those?
So
Stephanie Robertson's
we're kind of
been in those.
Yeah, we're in like a little. I called us like kind of Chris Grieco's Wes Anderson troupe.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm like the Jeff Goldblum. I show up in a handful of them. I'm not Owen Wilson by any stretch of the imagination, but let's see. So it's Peyton. Peyton and Chris wrote a couple of them. Matt Mitchell and Chris wrote a bunch of them, and Matt's voices in many of them. Stephanie and me. And I do ones where Chris just can't get it for whatever reason. So we just did one that I'm really, really proud of. And like, if Chris can win an Academy Award for doing a fucking Instagram reel, he should. He did this one called Doom Scrolling. And it's a guy that's doom scrolling on his phone, and different things keep popping up, like ads pop up and different news items pop up. And he's like ordering Chipotle, and the Chipotle order is like way more expensive than he was expecting it to be. And then he's on a date with a girl, and like how it ends is like he's on a date with this girl, and then the girl turns into an influencer who winds up being on his phone, and then he flips up again. It's like fucking brilliant. But he asked me, he always like sends me messages like, hey, can you do blank? And like I usually can inherently, but what I always do for Chris is like if I know I can get within about 65%, I'll say yes. And then what I do is I go do about an hour or 2 hours of work on it, and like I'll listen to like something very specific that they say, take his script, do that to the script, and then I can usually get it up to 80%. If I can give him 80%, I want him to use it. If I can't give him 80%, I don't want him to do it. So he asked me if I could do Kevin Hart, and I know I do Chris Rock really well. And I know that like it's kind of probably just going to be a little bit higher and a little bit like wimpier in a way. I don't know how to describe it, but I listened to a bunch of Kevin Hart after that, and then I was able to give him the Kevin Hart line. And he had Pam Bondi in the script, and I do Pam Bondi, and I was like, hey, I'm just going to record this Pam Bondi for you, like just as a little bit of an extra. If you want to use it, use it. And so he used both of them, and that video took off, man. That video's got like 1.7 million views on it, and really, really, anytime that Grieco asked me to do something. First of all, he's one of my best creative friends in the scene. I dropped his name earlier. Like he's always just been super supportive of me, super supportive of my voice. He's cast me in different things that he's done over the years. Like he did a video game a couple of years ago. He had me come in and do a voice for him. And you know, he's always like been very generous with stage time with me and stuff. So really, really proud to be working with him and proud to be working on the stuff that he's got going on. Cause it's like, honest to Christ, that's the only fucking thing that's growing my Instagram account at this point. Like I swear to God, being in that Sopranos one got over 1 million. And I'm really proud of the doom scrolling one, because the doom scrolling one, like, it's all Chris. Like Chris has been building this thing on his channel over time. He didn't get like any, you know, because Peyton collaborating on them helps, obviously, because Peyton's got a really big following.
Yeah.
But like it was all him, all on his own, 1.7 million, and it's like freaking great.
First one I saw, because I don't know which was the first one.
He did Gay Seinfeld.
Yeah, that was the first one. Gay Seinfeld.
I was such a freaking fan of Gay Seinfeld. I sent him like 5 messages praising how much I loved Gay Seinfeld. I thought it was so fucking funny. And then he did Joe Pesci. He did the scene from Goodfellas with I'm fucking funny. How am I so fucking funny? He did that, but it's Henry and Tommy, and Tommy like actually takes it seriously. Like, yeah, should I start a podcast? Should I go take classes at Second City? He's like, I don't know, Tommy. I mean, I don't know about that. And like, and then it like just dives back and forth into disseminating whether or not he should do funny shit or not. But yeah, like he just like kept moving on those. He actually let me. I pitched him one, and he liked it enough to do it, and it's the second. No, it's the least successful of all of them. So,
congratulations.
He's only done 2 of them that like didn't really break through to any kind of like.
I mean, even that though, the success rate being that high is crazy, because I mean it's a great concept.
It's got 10,000 views. That's not unsuccessful.
That's what I mean, and
it's
that's
still
not
better
even
than
bad.
literally any of my stand-up clips.
Yeah. It's because it's because of the format that works, but I think it's just like an actually creative idea. Like I think it's an actual creative. Like I as I scroll, as I see all this shit, you don't see a lot of that. You don't see a lot of people like actually throwing something new at the wall. A lot of the time with comedians, especially, it's just clips of bullshit. It's almost everything I see is just clips of bullshit, and actually drives me crazy, because it's like I think you should be showing off your creative skills, and you should be showing why you're different and what makes you different. And obviously, like we have this quantity over quality world. Like that seems to be the mindset. Just post every day, and I think that's what's making this happen. Post the random clips of you talking to the guy where it wasn't really you killing, it wasn't really anything, and that just ends up becoming. Or like one trend I see now is it'll be comics reacting to things all the time.
Sure.
It's a very big trend.
I got this one guy that I just see fucking react to everything. He's got like 8 million followers, and it's just
comics will grow their and yeah.
It's annoying to me because all it is him just being like,
yeah, and it's not even a reaction.
Yeah.
It's the poorest reaction. Like it'll be the full video of whatever it is, 20 seconds long, and then it'll be him going, damn, that's crazy. And that's the video. That's the whole thing. And honestly, I think a lot of the people that follow and watch those things, they didn't even watch till the end. They didn't even notice that you were in it.
They gave you like 7 seconds and then they flipped.
Yeah.
Right?
So, but it's all algorithm bait bullshit, and that's why I hate it, because it's like, show what you're good for. Don't steal other shit and then just kind of trick yourself into thinking these people are following you for you. And because I promise you're gonna have way better turnout, way better everything. Like even with what you're doing, people are they're gonna hear your voice. They're gonna be like, "Who's that guy?" They're gonna follow you, and it's because they're gonna follow you for the right reason. It's not gonna be for just because you're some arbitrary thing.
Honest to God, like I'm trying to do it on my own and like without anyone else's help.
Well,
myself,
I think it's nice that it ties in with the impressions.
I'm so fucking grateful
to
Chris for putting me in these videos. Just the fact, like, I'm thinking about it, and like 1.7 million people, which actually whittles down to probably like 1.2 million because there's going to be replays and shit like that in there. But like the fact that 1 million people have heard my voice doing something is just like, it's mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
That many people engaged in something that I did, Yeah. I'm again, like I really want, and I'm so grateful for the cartoons. I'm really, really grateful that like this time in my career, like I feel like I've got clips that are like worthy of going on the internet at least. So like I got really good clips from Zanies. I got really good clips from like different shows at the Lodge, some independent shows too, like bar shows. That like I'm just like I'm more prescient about gathering material. I'm also like at a point in my career where I feel like a lot of the jokes that I'm posting I've done for a while, and so it's okay to like. I mean, I'm going to do a special at some point, but like, it's okay to like just put them up and like let other people see them. Like I remember, so I was talking about that queef bit, and that queef bit is like really old. That queef bit's like, I think I wrote it originally in 2019, and I didn't I'd say I like really settled on like the final version of it like sometime in 2022, 2023. And I just like I'm a little bit of a late bloomer everywhere in my life, but I only just made my Zanies debut back in the fall. And I was like trying to think of like I'm going to Zanies and bringing the fucking best of my stuff. Like what am I going to do? And I forget who I was talking to about it. It was my friend Aaron, Aaron Sutherland, great guy, great comedian. He's a Chicago guy. He's living outside Detroit right now, but he'll be coming back at a certain point. But I was telling him about like what should I be doing, and he was just like, Tommy, I don't think anybody's actually heard that bit. And I'm like, well, yeah. And he's like, no, like you haven't like recorded it, you haven't put it on the internet. You've done it at a handful of shows. I know that you feel like that is like something that's been done, but like really no one's heard that. So just go do that because it's great. And I'm like, fuck, you're right. And like I opened with it, and like, man, did it put me in like such a stratospheric headspace when I got through it, and like the reaction that I got to it was like it's the clip that I send out to everybody where I'm trying to get booked now, because like I cannot believe I have a clip that is that tight, that shows me off so well, that has all the laughs in it where I want them to be, and like it's explosive at the end, and like I'm very, very, very grateful to have something like that to work with. And like again, I'm at a point now where I want more people to discover what I'm about. I'm trying to do a couple of, so I'm putting up reels of my stand-up. I got the Grieco cartoons, and then I'm also, and this is probably going to be antithetical to what I just told you, because it's like, yeah, people can just like do the fucking voices and just say a line. There's a trend in impressions where you'll just kind of like pick one line from like a movie and just say it over and over again as different people. And that's just a trending type of video, and it might be slop, but also I want to put people that you haven't heard into these videos. Like I want to do standard ones that like people would come to expect, but like I also want to pick like obscure ones that you've like. Do you know who Bruce Dern is?
No.
You ever see the movie Nebraska? Okay, Bruce Dern is this old. You saw The Hateful Eight, Tarantino?
Yeah.
The old general man. Like the old Confederate general. That's a guy by the name of Bruce Dern. And Bruce Dern happened to be the father of Laura Dern, who you might know from the Jurassic Park films. And I just loved Dern's voice, and I heard him on a podcast once telling stories, and I just thought it'd be really cool if, I don't think anybody's out here doing Dern's, so might as well just throw him into my impression reel, and maybe somebody will be like, oh yeah, that's that guy from fucking Hateful Eight, and from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and from Django Unchained for 2 seconds.
What was he in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
He's the old man at Spawn Ranch.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the guy that's living with all the girls, and the Manson cult is basically taking over his ranch.
Yeah. And that extended sequence where I didn't realize Austin Butler's in that. There's so many actors in that I didn't even know who was in that movie.
He picked up
later.
a lot of
Sydney
people.
Sweeney, Austin Butler.
A lot of people he picked up before they were famous. Maya Hawke's I guess Maya Hawke was sort of getting famous. Maya Hawke's in there.
Too.
Yeah, Maya Hawke's in it at the end. She's the one that gets away, that doesn't get killed. I love that movie. That's like, in my opinion, like there's something weird that happens in 2019, and I don't want to say that like I'm going to sound really old and like flex my age. I'm 41. I'm going to be 42 in 6 months. And like,
Stop bragging.
Huge cinephile. And I've loved movies for as long as I can remember. There's just something different about, it's either the way that we're releasing movies, the way that the pandemic impacted how people go to the movies. There's a je ne sais quoi, but like I
think it's both. I think it was already happening, and then that happened, and it just accelerated what was already happening.
I hate to say this, it's like there's 3 movies a year that I really like.
Oh yeah. Well, I always tell people if you think
like
that sounds
10
crazy,
movies deep.
because I think like it's easy to sound like an old man yelling at the clouds. All you got to do is look at a calendar. Like, look at the calendar year 20 years ago and look at the amount of blockbuster films that came out. Like, it's not, there's no denying it. That's just a fact that there's only 3 notable movies every year. It's just different. And what it is, I think, is streaming. I think streaming happened, and then COVID and the pandemic happened. And COVID and pandemic basically set the whole thing in where it's like, yeah, it's okay to watch movies at home. Like, it's not going to hurt anybody. And I think people got used to that. And I think people are conditioned. I think people are ultimately independent and they do what they want to do, but you can condition people. And so I think what happened was people were slowly conditioned into streaming. And we all love theaters, but theaters can become a relic of the past to a simple mind if you don't understand the purpose of a theater. And
there are no stakes. I'll specifically say this about comedy too. There's no stakes because what will have to happen in like 2005. Use 2005 as a great example. Wonderful movie summer, and one of the biggest comedies like ever comes out that summer. So there are no stakes for a comedy to be good anymore because they don't have to stay in the theater. The Wedding Crashers came out in the summer of 2005. It was a huge deal. It was a perfect pairing. Like, it was the frat pack. So for those of you who don't remember, the frat pack is Ben Stiller, Will Ferrell, Jack Black, Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn, Luke Wilson. So it was like the perfect pairing of two frat packers who hadn't worked together yet in Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn. They're perfect dichotomies of each other. You know, one's, you know, the crass cocksman, one's the sensitive cocksman. And they're, you know, it's the height of toxic masculinity here in 2005.
But also technically a rom-com.
They're crashing weddings and banging broads and then falling in love with broads that they meet at a wedding that they crash.
Wait a minute, she's got a personality.
How about that? Oh my God. Oh, she's sensitive. Wow. So that movie exploded. And it had, like, it's got this Bradley Cooper performance before he's famous that's like fucking nuts. And Walken's in it, and Will Ferrell's got that great cameo in it that everybody was quoting. Like, there was something about Wedding Crashers where you would want to go see it, and then you would want to go see it again because you wanted to experience it again. Like, you would word of mouth it to your friends, like, oh my God, I saw this movie. It was really fucking funny. Do you want to go see it? And because there were stakes of having to make money and sustain something, like, earlier than that, like 5 years earlier than that, Meet the Parents came out. And I remember when Meet the Parents came out and everybody fucking saw that movie, and then everybody saw that movie again in the theater. There was like this repeatability of going back to the theater because not only did you want to have that first experience of seeing the movie, you wanted to have the communal experience of seeing it with people again who are experiencing it in that kind of live situation.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think the last time that I really felt that like strongly was when I saw Superbad in the theater. Superbad was just electric. First time I saw that in the theater, I was like, holy shit, I cannot fucking believe that something like this even exists. And it was like a voice of my generation. I was a senior in college at that point, but like they were seniors in high school. It wasn't that far removed from my experience. And it was like, holy fucking shit. Now though, Happy Gilmore 2 comes out on streaming. No one watches it together.
Yep.
They all watch it independently. Hey, did you watch Happy Gilmore 2? Yeah, it kind of sucked. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just like, it had me at the beginning and then like blah, blah, blah. But like, he doesn't have to make something that lives up to the standard of Happy Gilmore. All he has to do is like throw in some schmaltzy like references to the other, do whatever the fuck he wants to with Netflix's money, and then Netflix, it doesn't fucking matter if it's good or not.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's good or not. It just has to exist. As long as it exists, it makes money because people will want to fucking tune into it and watch it, see how it is. Fucking turn it off after 20 minutes if you want. There's no fucking stakes. No. There are no fucking stakes to whether that thing stays in the theater or not. Everybody watched and engaged with Happy Gilmore 2 if they wanted to engage with Happy Gilmore 2 in that week of July when it came out last summer, and then it dis-fucking-peared. And that's what happens. There's no staying power for any of this stuff. Sometimes there's like a little bit of community chatter around it. I remember when the Jerry Seinfeld Serial movie came out, and everybody was just talking how fucking bad it was. That's all it was. It was like, oh yeah, did you see the Jerry Seinfeld Serial movie?
What was it called?
Fucking, I don't even remember. It was it's the one about inventing the Pop-Tart. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what that fucking movie was called because that movie was dog shit, and it was a thing that they had that was like this little like, oh, like, hey, we've got a nugget of like fucking content. You want to come check it out? Yeah. Oh, enough people watch it to get their money's worth out of it, and they move on. There's no staying power for any of this stuff, and honestly, that's why, in my opinion, the real place where real comedy is happening on in any kind of filmed capacity is on television. Narrative TV shows are the only place that I think like real comedy is happening because comedy movies are dead. I haven't seen a comedy movie except for Balls Up starring Paul Walter Hauser. I've not seen a comedy movie that's done anything for me in a really long time. Paul Walter Hauser is my friend. I don't want to drag his movie because that's a big comedy that just came out that's in this type of format.
You might be right though. I mean, like just with comedy in shows, because maybe it's just because what would be the reason that comedy is so dead? Just like you said, there's no incentive, there's no reason to make a good one. You think it's like the fact that if you don't, I mean, I think it's kind of crazy when I see people talk about Hollywood films, because they still talk about ticket sales as if that's the only thing that matters. Like, and I think that's outdated too, because I don't think that's real. So like, say a film like, I'm trying to think of a film where this would happen. This happens all the time, where like a movie comes out and it doesn't sell that well, and maybe it just came out at the wrong time. It came out at the same time as this other film, or it came out as, oh, I know a good one, Mission Impossible.
Okay.
Because the second to last Mission Impossible, I went and saw it. It was great.
Fire.
And I remember I saw it with my mom, and my mom was like, she didn't really like it, but she doesn't like those movies. She wasn't going to like it. It was a fucking awesome mission. I'm talking the seventh one.
The one with the train?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the train.
And the train, I mean, kind of like a throwback to the first film. Fun. And I'm a sucker for the Mission Impossible movies.
Oh,
it's
the sixth one is like, it should have won a fucking Oscar. It was literally one of the best pictures of the year.
Arguably one of the best ones.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe
That's
it was
the one
that
where Henry
good.
Cavill like really loads his arms.
Oh yeah. Fallout might be. I was mixing up with the sixth one. Might be the best one. Because that one. I mean, a lot of the fan base thinks that the sixth one was the best.
That's the sixth one. With
Yeah,
Henry
Henry Cavill. I was
Yeah.
thinking about that. Because I was already talking about the seventh. The seventh one, the train one, is the one I'm talking about.
Part 1's great. Part 2 kind of was like.
Well,
whatever.
this is the thing though. Part 1 was great, and the reason Part 2 was worse is because they looked at the ticket sales for Part 1. It came out, and like I think it was right around Barbie and Oppenheimer and all this.
Yeah, you're right.
It was right around the time of all this buzz for these other two movies, and that's kind of why it didn't sell that well, in my opinion. But they look at that and go, "Oh, the movie wasn't good," and then they changed the whole idea they had for the because it's stupid because they set all this shit up in the first movie, and you can tell they just kind of
most of it
let
off.
it. Yeah, they didn't pay anything off. They just let it all go. Why did they do that? I think it's Christopher.
Christopher McGuire.
McGuire, yeah. So he was talking on a podcast about it, and this is literally what he said. He said, like, it didn't sell as well as we wanted to, so we had to last minute go in and say, what did people not like about this? And then we changed it. And then I'm just watching that thinking, no, you idiot. Like, you just completely missed the point of what happened. And that's kind of the outdated mentality of this, like, oh, if a movie doesn't sell well, if the opening weekend doesn't go great, that because people don't think like that anymore. People think, oh, Mission Impossible's out in theaters. Oh, fuck it, I'll just watch it on streaming. I like Mission Impossible. Fuck it, it's Mission Impossible.
So the craziest thing about Christopher McGuire to me is imagine that like the greatest thing that you're a good guy and you you worked hard and you did pretty much everything right in your life and you took a shot at something. You made like the greatest thing that you probably ever will make. And you see this thing become like one of the best movies ever made, and you go on to win an Academy Award, and you are at the height of everything. It launches your career, you do everything, and now the thing that made you is completely canceled because the director and the star are both pederasts. That's The Usual Suspects. He wrote The Usual Suspects, which is one of the all-time great screenplays, which made one of the all-time great movies. And both the fucking director and the star later on, like, not just me too, like, me holy fucking shitted. Like, Jesus Christ, canceled beyond canceled.
Who's the director?
What's his face? Bryan Singer. Bryan Singer and Kevin Spacey. Yeah. And it's like, oh man, like what a perfect pairing, the two of them together.
That's funny.
Cancel beyond cancel. I don't even know, like it's hard.
Kevin Spacey's a fun one, man.
It's well, it's truly divorcing the artist from the art in the like. My wife says that she can kind of do it with Spacey because like he's playing characters, and it's like it's different than like Woody Allen because Woody Allen is literally like putting like his own. That's like his soul on screen because he wrote it, he directed it. It's like he's controlling the vision of it all.
As an actor, you're more of a pawn.
Exactly, and I don't know. I think it's just like one of those things where that movie is just going to get lost to time because like no one's going to carry it or no one's going to put it on streaming services or like.
You know which one really doesn't age well is American Beauty.
Dude, okay, this is fucking nuts. I'm older than Kevin Spacey when he filmed American Beauty, and I'm technically 6 months younger than his character's supposed to be in American Beauty. And I'm like, holy shit, that is like the midlife crisis movie, and I am not feeling any of those things. I still feel like a fucking giant kid right now. It's nuts. I hate, that's one of my things that I hate the most about being 40, almost 42 years old, is like knowing exactly how old Lester Burns. It says boomers and Gray's generation, they just aged different than us. Like, we're just like so much more youthful looking. All of us, like millennial and down, we're all so youthful. We're using skincare, like, we're doing things, we're eating better. We're not like just pounding red meat and fucking cigarettes and coffee.
I think that's why people used to look older.
Maybe.
I think that's why. I mean, it's probably a million things.
And that's why Lester Burnham wants to go for a 16-year-old girl, even though he just wants to live life as a gay man.
Yeah. It's just genetics. It's just the way we're living now.
I suppose.
We just changed our lifestyles. I mean, like I said to you when you walk in, people don't. I didn't say it to you. I almost say it to everybody. Because every time people walk in, I'll offer them, I'll say, hey, I got all this soda in the fridge. And then usually they say no, which you did. But
only because I brought my own. America runs on Dunkin'.
America runs on Dunkin', but
I just didn't want to be wasteful.
I bet you, even if you didn't have that, you probably would have just said, nah, I just want water.
What do you got?
I Mountain Dew, Pepsi, I got lemonade, I got tea, I got cherry Pepsi.
I would have taken a cherry Pepsi.
See, there you go. See, you would have taken something. Most people, because of what you said, like people are like just trying to be healthy. I'm
not getting paid for this appearance. I got to take something.
I would take free shit anywhere I go. Are you kidding me? I walk in, you offer me free shit. I don't even need to want it. I just will take it. Like, I'll think I can give that to somebody later if you offer me free stuff. And so it just kind of blows my mind. People must be healthy nowadays, because people will walk in and they're like, oh, no, I'm good. And I tell them, on your way out, please take something. And they never do. And I don't remind them, but it's like, if it were me, I'd be thinking, shit, I'm going to take 3 things.
Everything gratis that you can, take it. I mean, honestly, like, go to an Airbnb and they have snacks, take all the snacks.
Yeah.
So
you
actually,
go to a hotel, steal a pillow.
So my hero is Gilbert Gottfried, and that is one of the things that Gilbert was like known to do. Like, he apparently would raid every single one of his hotels. He would take every fucking thing. And like,
I do take shampoo and conditioner.
No, he would go home with everything and then unload it. And his wife is just like, "What the fuck do we need all this for, Gilbert?" It's I don't know, just have it. So when he died, like they have way too much. Like, Dara Godfrey can pretty much like open her own like toiletry pantry in New York City and let's have people come in whenever like any homeless guy needs anything. Gil's got him covered, you know?
Oh, dude, that's perfect. That's awesome.
That's the guy I was gonna say that I was born to do. So
Gilbert Gottfried.
Well, I was in a production. So I played basketball, and I was very, very, very committed to basketball up until I was like in 8th, 9th grade, and then I had this amazing year in 7th grade where like I made the basketball team, which was a really competitive thing to do. But then there was a play in the spring, and the play was called The Knights of the Rad Table. Look it up. Terrible play, I'm sure. But The Knights of the Rad Table, there was it's like about a guy named Artie who gets taken back in time with Merlin to go save the Knights of the Rad Table. Like, he's the great grandson of King Arthur. So I played Merlin, and you know, wherever this woman is, I am indebted to her. Her name is Jill Marie Weaver. She was the 8th grade geography teacher, and she was in charge of the play. And so she cast me. I don't even know what kind of like. I remember I did the voice like this, I think. But like it's in this like 7th grade falsetto voice. So I was like, I came in and I did a voice like this. And she cast me, and I was such a little ham. I just went off script and ad-libbed my fucking ass off. And like Austin Powers had just come out, and I was like pinching jokes from Austin Powers and throwing random movie references and doing all these random impressions. Like, I was kind of I was treating Merlin like he was the genie from Aladdin. I was just like trying to pull things from all these different places. And like, I remember I came in one day to rehearsal, and I told the director, I was like, hey, I think we need to end this with a dance. And she's like, okay, what do you got? So I put on Apache by the Sugar Hill Gang, which had recently been used in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And we did the Will and Carlton Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Apache dance that ended the fucking show. And like this woman just like any other director would tell this kid to like shut the fuck up, sit down, say the lines. She just like let me like go. And I did 2 shows where none of them were the same. Everything had a little bit of different like spice to it and whatnot. And I just like had such a fucking blast time in my life, like making this audience, this middle school audience of kids and adults just crack up. I was like, well, shit, this is it for me. Like, I need to chase this. Like, as great as it is to be the 12th man on the basketball team, get in for garbage time and hit a couple of free throws, with 10 to 20 seconds left in the game, this is what I want to do. So
Knights of the Rad Table did it all.
The Knights
for
of
you,
the fucking Rad Table brought it all home. So we had basketball and the musical in high school competing at the exact same time.
Fucking High School Musical, bro.
So it was like, do I do the basketball
You were Troy
team?
Bolton.
I was, man. Do I do the basketball team or do I do the musical? And I was like, well, shit. I could ride the bench and like not do anything on my high school basketball team, or I could go do the musical. So I did the musical, and
that's the end. That's the right choice. That's High School Musical. I hope you went into High School Musical too. It was a nice summer.
Well, I got into like that group of people that was doing that, and then by the time I aged up to be able to get a lead, we did Guys and Dolls. And I played Nathan Detroit, who, if you've seen the movie, is Frank Sinatra in the movie. And I'm Italian, and like this is a big deal for me to be Nathan Detroit. And I remember doing different character voices, and like I wasn't even thinking about it, but like I landed on this character voice for Nathan Detroit. And when I went back and I watched the tape, like because my dad would always tape the musicals and stuff. When we watched the tape, I realized that after I was doing it, I was like, holy shit, I am doing Gilbert Gottfried. I am literally Nathan Detroit is fucking Gilbert Gottfried, and it was like insane to me that kind of carried through with me. I met him several times. Sweetest man. He doesn't remember anyone, but I feel very fortunate that he did remember me in a capacity. Yeah. So this is crazy. I used to do this thing, and I still sort of do it sometimes, but I really have like a magazine in front of me anymore. But whenever I would have like a People magazine or like a magazine that just had faces in it, Entertainment Weekly, something like that. If I was bored and I like needed something to do, I would take a Sharpie out because I always like carry like Sharpie. I think I have a Sharpie on me. Yeah, I always have a Sharpie on me. So I would take a Sharpie out and I would doodle the people in the magazine like they were rabbis. I would like put fucking like the flat brim hat on top of them. I would put like fucking payas on them, and I would put a long beard on them, and I would just like George Clooney would be on the cover of this magazine, and all of a sudden it was Rev George Clooney, like the rabbi. I heard Gilbert Gottfried when he started his podcast. His podcast was called Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast. It was a fucking great podcast. Rest in peace. And he was talking with some guest, and he was just like,
you know what I do when I'm bored is I'll get like a People magazine and I'll take out a Sharpie and I'll doodle them up to be Hasidim.
And I'm like, oh my fucking God. Like, I didn't pick that up from him. I do that. That's insane. That is like some divine intervention type of shit. That I'm doing the same thing my fucking hero is doing? What the fuck?
I don't know.
So,
I think you might be Gilbert Gottfried.
I eventually met him, and I met him at Zanies in 2009. I took a picture with him, and then I heard this on his podcast like in 2014, 2015. So the next time that I saw him, I printed out the picture of me and him together, and I doodled both of us to be Hasidic Jews, and I brought it with me, and I showed it to him. I go, hey, Gilbert, do you mind signing this picture of you and me that I doodled up as Hasidim? And he looks at it, and he just goes,
too Jewish.
And he signed it for me. But I did that. I saw him like 2 or 3 more times, and every time that I would see him, I would present him with another picture of us as Hasidim for him to sign for me. So I've got a bunch of them at home that he signed. My friend Chris was a contributor and he did research for this guy, shout out to Frank Santapadre, great guy. He did the podcast with Gil. He's got his own podcast right now that he's trying to keep the spirit of the show alive. But he was doing research for Frank, and he went and he taped an episode with Frank and Gilbert. And I had just seen Gilbert, and so I got this thing that I do where I have heroes of mine sign my joke book for me. So I always start my joke book with an inspirational quote that's like trying to kind of keep me in line with the kind of jokes I'm writing at that time.
Okay.
So when I was getting back into stand-up back in 2018, I put Gilbert in the front of my book, and it was a quote that was like, the key to comedy is trying to not give a shit, but I haven't given a shit in years, so I must be doing something right. So that was kind of about me trying to like let go of my ego and let go of people judging me for whatever I was going to do. Just go do what I think is funny. So I had him sign my joke book on that quote for me, and I did my impression for him, and he got a laugh out of it because I was like, "Hey, I'm doing you in my act. Do you want to hear my impression of you?" And he goes, "Of course, show me." So I do a little bit of more robust Gilbert right now in my act, but I used to do just a quick like kind of blackout joke at the end of it. If I only like one of those things, if you're at a mic, you got like 10 seconds left. So I would do this is Gilbert Gottfried telling a clean joke.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Aren't you glad I didn't say cunt?
So I did that for him, and he got a big laugh out of it. And I gave him a gift. So my brother had given me for Christmas, you know, Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah.
He gave me Mench on a bench.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that
And
too.
we're not Jewish, by the way. Like my aunt converted to Judaism, so I've been given the title from some of my aunt's people as an honorary Jew. And I know many. I love and respect and steal from many Jewish comedians over the years. Mel Brooks specifically, someone I deeply love. But I'm just like I'm gonna get called an anti-Semite having this fucking Mench on a bench in my house. Like I can't have Mench on a bench. And I was like, who would fucking like Mench on a bench? I'm seeing Gilbert in a couple weeks. I'm just going to give him the Mench on the bench. So I gave him the Mench on the bench, and he signed my book, and I did the impression of him and shit. So my friend taped this podcast with Gilbert a couple months later, and my friend was like, "Hey, I just wanted to ask you about my friend Tom Bambara. He gave you a Mench on the bench a couple of months ago," and he goes,
Oh, is that the guy who keeps taking pictures and doodling them as you see them?
Now, Gilbert very famously didn't remember anybody. The fact that he remembered me, he didn't know my fucking name, but the fact that he remembered me and he remembered a bit. He just remembered
probably
a
remembered
recurring
you because you
bit
did
that I
something
with him.
personal that he does. I mean, I imagine to me, if someone came up to me and they did the same, like it's kind of like an inside joke he has with himself and himself alone that he mentioned on a podcast once. So I think that would create this fucking neural pathway because you're the only other guy who ever shows up with the Hasidic pictures. He's like, oh my God, that's like an extension of me.
He really means a lot to me.
It's a great way
on a very personal level.
It's a
I'm
cool
like,
connection that you have with him in that, right? Like just to even have that connection at all, I'm sure is crazy.
and I didn't really know for the longest time that his act was sort of. I mean, I've heard him tell street jokes forever, and obviously the aristocrat joke, but like. I didn't realize how much of his act was driven by just doing short little impression type stuff. Like, and he would literally end his act with like, he's doing an act for people that are like my age and younger, and he's doing like these impressions of people from like fucking 1940s and 1950s movies that nobody fucking knows. And like, that's honestly how like it starts to feel with some of the things that I do in my act. I try and keep it a little bit more current than that, but like, you know, I'll have a joke for something that like, I think that's the other thing that's kind of hard about, which is why you want to have more in your arsenal than just doing impressions is, if you're doing a lot of referential comedy, if the person doesn't know the reference, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, I saw Frank Caliendo say that about the Saul Goodman impression. He says that sometimes where you can't figure out how to do Bob Odenkirk because he can do the voice, but audiences don't get it.
I think I know. I'm trying to think if I can do Bob Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk's like, you got to do like a Chicago act. Saying, Better Call Saul. Like, it's like it's gonna turn.
Better call Saul. Yeah, you're way out. You're closer than me because I don't even know where that voice would start. I don't know. Like it's a phrase like that. Better Call Saul. I mean, what is?
You gotta say something like Chicago. You gotta like
Chicago.
say because Bob's got a real Chicago accent on him, and
I need to give like fucking 20 minutes to myself. I can't pull Bob Odenkirk out of my ass.
How would you start with the voice then? Like if you were to try to pull Bob Odenkirk out after like an hour, you said you research voices for a couple hours if you need to get them. If you have a little bit and you want to get to 70-80%. So what is that like? How do you tune your voice?
Yeah, I would pick like a monologue from Breaking Bad, and I would listen to that over and over again, and then I would try and
Would you go like phrase by phrase?
Yeah, I'd probably take like 3 sentences of it. So like I actually did a Breaking Bad impression video years ago. Didn't do too bad. I got like 67,000 on it.
Bitch.
Yeah, what's up, Walt, bitch? You know, I could do Hank pretty well. I was like, hey, go me. But I was like, here's the thing. You two suck at peddling meth. And I would just say that over and over and over and over again until I like found like kind of like if he rounds something, because he does a Midwestern type of thing on it, like you make sure you hit that. Like they're just like little like tiny nuances. Like I'll give you a great example. So like this is a movie line that I have memorized, and I don't do a perfect one of these, but I know how he says this, so I can kind of get approximate on it. And you would believe that I'm actually being able to do the guy. So this is my favorite monologue from my cousin Vinny. This is when Vinny shows up in the courtroom and he's in like the red burgundy like tuxedo thing, and he goes up to the judge because the judge is pissed off because Vinny keeps showing up in this leather jacket and he's not like, you know, he's not in the dress code of the court. So he goes,
I got a suit. You seen it. Now that suit is covered in mud. You guys don't have 1 hour cleaners. And the only tailor in town has the flu. The whole store has the flu. So I could wear the leather jacket, which I know you hate. Or this. So I'm wearing this ridiculous thing for you.
I don't like your attitude.
Yeah, what else is new?
I'm holding you in contempt of court.
Well, there's a fucking surprise.
I think that if you do, the other thing that you can do is for Pesci is just like,
Hey, you fucking stuttering prick, you.
Yeah.
Henry!
Pesci's got a very distinctive. It's like a brash, loud yelling, like it's like a duck almost.
It's the greatest Oscar speech in the history of Oscar acceptance speeches.
Yeah?
He didn't think he was going to win. This is in 1990. He won for Goodfellas. He didn't think he was going to win. He gets on stage. He takes the trophy. He looks at it and he just goes,
This is my privilege. Thank you.
And he walks off the stage.
My privilege. Earlier you did a voice, and I can't remember which one it was, but I could see how it would very easily get into Sandler, because Sandler's another one that I've seen people get right, and I want to get Sandler.
Responsible
Sandler so
for my
bad.
favorite Instagram moment of 2025. So I love the Sandman.
Yeah.
I fucking love Adam Sandler. Speaking of Jewish comedians, I've stolen many things from. I fucking love Adam Sandler. I think that the most important thing that you need to remember if you were ever able to achieve any level of greatness is that you have to remember that your reputation is going to precede you. And the fact that I have just heard so many amazing things about a guy who has no business to be this amazing.
Yeah.
Like just so kind and so nice. Like a fan gives him a t-shirt at a, premiere, and then 3 days later he's like wearing the t-shirt type of thing. Like he's just such a good guy. And I think that that's what has made people so attracted to him over the years. But I've gotten to see him now 3 times. And it was like just a dream come true to see him once. I couldn't believe I fucking saw him once even. But I saw him when he came back and he was doing his Netflix 100% Fresh special, which is like, honestly, it's kind of a cheat code special because it's literally just him like filming 50 different performances and then picking the funniest bits and then kind of meshing them all together. His show is very much that. I mean, his show is exactly what you would see on the special, but like it's literally him just like cherry picking like the absolute best ones, and like they're short and they're funny and like they're very repeatable, and I appreciate that about him. But I saw him at Tinley Park, and then I saw him twice at the United Center. Tinley Park one was crazy because it was like it was him being like, all right, do I have enough fans that are gonna come like watch me do my thing? And then like every fucking one of the shows sells out. It's like, okay, I'm gonna I'll do all the stadiums and whatnot. That'd be good. So my wife and I went to go see him in October, and great show. Sarah Squirm opened it. Spade was on it, and then Sandler did. He plays for 2 hours.
Yeah.
He plays for 2 fucking hours. He gives everybody their fucking money's worth. That's not with the openers. He plays himself for 2 fucking hours. But he's got this one song about nipples. And he's just like, you know, the song's about a guy with two different kinds of nipples. It's like one nipple's brown and one nipple's up, one nipple's whatever. Like it's basically about having two different kinds of nipples. And then at the end of the song, he goes, "And if there's anybody in the audience that wants to whip those bad boys out," and dude, without fucking hesitation, we're sitting. I always fucking splurge for the Sandman. I'm not gonna tell you how much money I spent, but I spent a fucking king's ransom on these tickets to take me and my wife, and we are sitting like 5th row, center. As soon as he says that shit, I'm such a fucking ham. I jump up. I got a camera right on me. I fucking throw my tits out, and I am on the jumbotron at the United Center, and I got Adam Sandler going, "Oh, look at this guy! Look at this guy! This big beautiful! Oh yeah!" And like, so I just like, I'm like fucking doing like a titty dance with this thing, and I'm like pulling out like my best fucking Farley that I can to do anything with. And he's like, "Oh yeah!" And I'm doing the guy from from Waterboy, like rubbing my nipples and stuff. "Oh yeah, watch him go! Oh yeah, just go watch this guy!" Oh. And like, my wife is just like fucking losing it. She's just like, "I can't believe I married this buffoon." And Sandler at the end of it goes, "Give it up for this guy. What a good guy. And you don't have weird nipples. Your nipples are beautiful. They're beautiful. Give it up for this guy one more time." And so like, I'm getting like, you know, all kinds of praise from people.
Yeah.
So then like when I'm done, I like kind of like quasi rush the stage because this is one of my heroes too. I fucking love the Sandman. And I just like throw fucking prayer hands up. I'm just like, "Dude, thank you so much for including me in the show." He goes, "Oh, no problem, buddy. I love you. You keep going." I'm like, "I love you too, fucking Adam Sandler." So what's amazing about this is if you go to Adam's Instagram and you go to the Chicago night, you can scroll through the slides, and I am fucking front and center posted on Adam Sandler's Instagram, me with my titties out. And what's cool is every single one of the shows that he did, from, you know, fucking Boston to San Francisco, he does that bit. And so if you go look through the Instagram, you'll just find a bunch of just like random guys like having their nipples out. So I'm hoping when this thing comes to Netflix, because I'm sure it will, that he will pick me for that part of the show, and then that'll be my Netflix fucking debut.
It's funny
Because I'm not getting there by myself.
probably just they're going through all of the same bit. And they're like, which guy's got the best, you know, the best like nipple rubbing, the best, because it's probably a bunch of dudes, drunk guys.
Okay, if you want to do
out.
Sandler, just do, so you can do like, because
there's doing Adam Sandler just kind of like talking, and I don't know if I
See,
do
it's
that. I don't know if I do that the best, but like, you know, this is kind of him
That's
doing
pretty. That's not bad at all.
But this is, well,
Because you know, it's not just the voice. It's like he has a playful, like it's like, you know, the point of view thing again. He's got like a playful demeanor about.
So
him.
I do Sandler when he's doing like his own Adam Sandler character voice. I like
just doing his normal speaking voice, like talking to a spade and stuff like that. I don't know if I can really do that really that well.
But if you really just, all you got to do Sandler is you got to say the phrase "I shabba-da-hoo."
I shabba-da-hoo.
There you go. You got a Sandler now.
There we go.
That's all
I
you need.
shabba-da-hoo. So I
Say shabba-da-hoo. Let's go.
shabba-da-hoo. Let's go.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, already.
All right.
Yeah. That's a good entry point, right? Because he has that yelling. It's like when because he has like, that's the thing about Sandler too. He's got a good rage in him. Like if you could do like Sandler rage, that's probably a good touch.
I want to come back to this because I don't want to mention it several times on a podcast and then not give the people what they want. I've learned how to do Tony Soprano, but for the longest time, the only Tony Soprano ism that I could do, it was always a very specific thing. I do it with my brother. It's really funny. I can do Ralphie pretty well. So I'm a huge Joey Pants guy, so I can do a good Ralphie. But like the only moment on The Sopranos that I could really capture of James Gandolfini is when Pio Mai dies and he's in Ralph's apartment and it's right before he kills Ralph and he's like strangling Ralph Cifaretto out and he's just like, "She was a beautiful creature. What'd she ever do to you?" Every time I can fucking hit, "She was a beautiful creature. Christopher! Oh my God!" This is fucking. Oh yeah, this is. Hold on, this is James Gandolfini getting hit in the face with insecticide by Ralph Cifaretto. "You fucking motherfucker! She was a beautiful creature. What'd she ever do to you?"
Christopher, I swear to God, you piece of shit. You fucking heroin-laden piece of shit.
See, there's this one guy I saw on Instagram, and he made me realize that like part of that impression is like he's got like these little like tiny touches where he'll
and
smack
like that's
his
the thing.
lips
If you can
and,
find those little nuances,
and he
like,
breathes through his nose funny, like Tony Soprano when he's mad. He's
So I'll
know.
give Caliendo credit because he recently helped me do a better impression of somebody that I think I did an okay impression of, but like it just doing this little tweak made it that much better. So Al Pacino, and there's something also about your face, and that's why Jim Carrey is so good at what he does, because not only can Jim Carrey like make the different like faces of the people he's doing and provide those little nuances, he is able to change his mask in such a way, and like if you think about like if people look similar to each other, like I kind of might have similar things to Gilbert in terms of like where our voice lands in our face because of like the shape of our skull or something like that. So like it's all like a clarinet, and you're just blasting.
well, I saw Caliendo say that about the jaw, like the way you move your mouth,
Right.
should be the same as. I don't know if that's what you were getting.
Well,
at.
no, he's with Al. So, and this has really helped me. So, like, I didn't used to really animate my face. Maybe go like this, but like, I didn't really think about animating my face too much. But like,
When I would do Al Pacino, I'd be down here a little bit. I mean, it is down here when I'm talking like Al Pacino. But if you raise your eyebrows a little bit more, it's going to elongate what you're doing. And maybe if you go down low, it gets a little bit more supported. Hoo-ah.
so just like that little tweak can really just change fundamentally the production of what you're doing.
That's a really good one too. That one's I know I have, cause that's all the way up in here.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Of course.
Hoo-ah.
See, give me 30. See, what I need to do is do what you do, where you just spend 30 minutes to an hour, because I can get like the 30% most of the time. It's just I don't know how to research a voice and spit. I get tired of it. I'm like, okay, fuck this, and I'll just do something else. But I feel like being able to do, because I don't know. I've always
If you take the woman's speech from Scent of a Woman with Al, I think most people could probably get it if they practice that one, where it's just like,
Tits. Hoo-ah! Big ones, little ones, nipples like miniature searchlights.
like I think, and there's also like what's crazy about Pacino, and I'm not telling anybody anything new. Jay Moore's talked about this plenty of times, but like there's young Pacino and there's old Pacino.
Like young Pacino is right in here. Like I tell you what, this is the only kind of,
Fucking Attica, the young Pacino when he's in The Godfather, and then there's like old Pacino, which happens sometime in the late '80s, where it's just like,
honey, let's go, strap in.
yeah.
so he like gets this like weird Southern thing around the time he does. Well, he's almost doing a caricature of himself from like 1991 until the year 2000, and pretty much everything he does, like the performance that he gives from Scent of a Woman through Heat through Any Given Sunday, it's all just like this. Oh, and fucking Devil's Advocate is like the craziest, most hilarious caricature of Al Pacino that you can get. Like
Because he's like the Flanders.
I'm the fucking devil. Whoa!
Like the the Flanderized version of himself, though, where he knows exactly what people think he is.
Italy.
Yeah, it's so funny. Here, let's see what else we got in here.
Oh Christ.
Bernie Sanders, huh?
So I do a joke on stage right now as Bernie. So I'm gonna give a shout out to one of my favorite open mics. And it's one of the ones that like I was always intimidated by, because I feel like getting shit talked on your stuff is just like, we're all very sensitive little pussies at the end of the day. Like I don't want to like necessarily have people trash
The Power
me.
Hour?
Oh no, you were actually there, and I think you missed me by like a second. You were just there this past week. Fucking trigger warning.
Oh, I must have came in right after
I think
you.
no,
then.
you literally you put up a picture of someone who was like right after me, I think.
That must have been it. Yeah, it must have came in right after, because usually I try to post to everybody I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually had a pretty good set of trigger warning this past week, and I I had been eating shit there, and by the way, shout out to Ed Towns, shout out to James Fisher. I love them both very much, and they're solid guys, good hangs, and
It's a great mic.
I mean, it's one of my. I honestly, I kind of go for the hang, and if I can like improve as a comic as a result, cool. But like, it's mostly to go for the hang. But
That's like 90% of the comedy community, by the way.
I do credit.
that.
I do credit. Well, I have a limited amount of time these days now, dude. I got a kid, and like I really only go out to write. Like if I got a show any night of the week, I'm open. I can go do the show. That's fine. But like as far as like my wife and my weekly routine, like I got Mondays and I got Thursdays, and sometimes Sundays I'll sneak over and I'll go do Joe's mic at Will's Northwood. But like I pretty much have Monday and Thursday to get most of my writing done. So I always go to Shuba's.
I've heard Shuba's is good. I've still haven't
Shuba's
been
is
there.
always fantastic, and shout out to the people who run that too. Shout out to Sue. Shout out to Sam who run that one. Sharon Palm. I always go to Leah's mic at the Logan Theater, and I do Trigger Warning. And so between the three of those, I feel like I can get like a good sense of like what audience is gonna dig what. If you can make the fucking animals at Trigger Warning, and I mean that in every beautiful respect of it, because I'm one of those animals too. If you can make the people at Trigger Warning laugh, you got something that's actually like fucking really good.
Yeah.
I was just eating shit week after week after week, and not feeling good about what I was doing. And I'm just like, I gotta fucking find something that's gonna pop there, because like if I just keep eating shit there, like I'm just not gonna want to go back. Like I'm gonna be too afraid to like, you know, take it on or like whatever it is. So I was thinking about like doing like a Def Jam style character that's like unique to me. And I was just riffing in the shower, and I was just trying to fucking think, and like I wasn't coming up with anything cool. And then
Just imagine you in the shower with all these voices.
I got to one of my all-time favorite routines. Bernie Mac doing I Ain't Scared of You Motherfuckers. And I'm like, man, I need to do fucking something like that at Trigger Warning, because like I'm not scared of these motherfuckers. I'm just as fucking funny as them. Like I'm just not fucking breaking through. So how can I do a I'm not scared of you motherfuckers? And I'm thinking about it just in terms of like, you know, because I know that bit pretty much by heart, and I'm like saying some of the words in it, and I'm like, holy shit, Bernie Sanders, because I'll do like impression mashups. I've done impression mashups in my career, and I'm like, fuck, what if I did Bernie Sanders Mac? So I put it together, and I rewrote a Bernie Mac joke.
Isn't that the natural thought process, guys?
I put like my own spin on it, on a Bernie Sanders or on a Bernie Mac joke, and it's like, okay, this is how Bernie Sanders would tell a Bernie Mac joke, so I'll do that one for you. So this is Bernie Sanders Mac. You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. A constituent of mine came to me. She said, Bernie. I said, yes, that's my name. What tastes better, good pussy or good Passover kugel? I said, how are you going to ask me a question like that? I've never had good Passover kugel. DJ! You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm scared of the wealthiest 1% of billionaires. All right.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. So the Bernie Mac is almost the attitude. It's like the sass.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and then the material.
In a way, it's the point of view. It's the material. This is what I would say I'm known for, and what most of my friends in the scene, at least the ones that have known me for like 5 or 6 years, would know me as. So one of my signature bits is, and this is the stupidest fucking thing in the world, and I feel even embarrassed doing it, but I love doing it, and audiences love it, so fuck it. I happen to be an LGBTQ icon.
Oh.
I'm an LGBTQ icon because I do an original character, and this original character is... It's based off of the comedic stylings of Ray Romano.
Okay.
This is Gay Romano.
Okay.
So it's I was having sex with my boyfriend the other day. I'm gay, and that's power bottoming for him. I'm very proud of that power bottom. You know, they say gay sex. It's a lot like a hot bath. First you look at it, you don't think you can take it, but then once you get your luggage in, it's nice. Come on. So that is actually a Ray Romano joke. It's a Ray Romano joke about marriage. It's like, yeah, they say a marriage, it's a lot like a hot bath. First you look at it, you don't think you could take it, but then once you get your luggage in, it's nice. So I was just like, okay, And why I do that is like because I've gotten some criticism about like homophobia within that bit. And first of all, it's not, because it's really just fucking stupid. But why do I think comedically that works? It's because you're taking the dichotomy of like the most like straight pussy whipped family man, and you're making him a guy that's power bottoming, and like there's just something.
Well, it's kind of
about
like the opposite of when they casted Bob Saget in Full House. It's
Exactly.
like you're taking the guy who's the raunchiest comedian and you're making him this clean. It's the contrast of those two things. It's like almost like a joke, an inside joke for all the audience, the people watching Full House is, oh, that guy is saying dirty stuff. So I think any clean guy saying anything dirty is always a fun joke.
Well, then I pair that,
and then you go all the way to power bottom. It's fantastic.
so I have to do that. Why I have to do that is because it's kind of like, you've seen The Prestige, Nolan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you know how Michael Caine's explaining like how a magic trick works?
Yeah.
So that's not the Prestige. That's the Turn, I think, for me. I'm trying to, because there's, what is it? It's
The Prestige is the end.
It's the premise, it's the turn. It's like whatever it is. It's like the setup, it's the turn, and then it's the Prestige, right?
Yeah.
So that one is probably like the Turn for me, because like I'll set up, I'll do. When I typically end my act with impressions, I'll do like other things at the top. I'll do like family stuff, or I'll do like, being a new dad, or like whatever I wind up doing. And then I'll end with like probably like 4 or 5 minutes of impressions. So the first impression I do just establishes that I do impressions.
Yeah.
The turn is I'll throw Gay Romano in there, and it's just like, okay, this is either going to work or it's not. But the Prestige is I'll do Gilbert Gottfried at the end. So how I end my act, my closer is I'll do... this is Gilbert Gottfried, my hero, Gilbert Gottfried. And hopefully, like, by that point, I've done, like, probably 7 or 8 impressions, and some of them have hit very strongly with the audience, and they're, like, into whatever I'm doing. But I'll be like, this is Tom Bambara this is Gilbert Gottfried doing an impression in the style of Tom Bambara. And so then I come out and I go,
Are you all familiar with the work of Dracula? Well, this is an original character inspired by the vampiric stylings of Count Dracula. This is Cock Suckula.
and then I do...
I want to suck your cock. See, it's funny because he's a homosexual vampire. And it's not homophobic. He wants to suck the cock.
And then that's how I end my set. So, like, that always, like, just absolutely crescendos it for me. But it's because, like... And again, sometimes I won't want to do Gay Romano, but I have to so that I can do that at the end.
Yeah. It's also kind of genius, too, because like you said, Gilbert Gottfried would do that same thing where he would do little impressions. So it's almost like a stack of layers where you doing you is actually kind of what Gilbert would do anyway, because Gilbert would do those little impressions, right? Like Gilbert would just do a little anecdote, throw away, gay vampire impression
I'm not at
joke.
the point where I'm just going to fucking throw my writing away to do street jokes, but I would.
Yeah. I think part of the hard part of doing like an impression act is how do you structure it and how do you come up with ways to, especially, I mean, an open mic is an interesting thing because that's 5 minutes. But once you got 20 minutes, once you got 30, like it makes me think because you mentioned Frank Caliendo's special and I still haven't seen it. And I think he's one of the best. So I would be really interested to see how he structures his special.
He weaves it in conversationally.
In
he weaves it in conversationally in such a way that he's picking different topics that he wants to talk about.
just like any stand-up, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's all about making that come off as natural. And also, I mean, if you're thinking about it like that, with the Prestige and a magic trick, like how do we build to the end? How do we feel like there's a big build-up and then boom, we get there? Because with impressions, that's a whole different thing you're talking about now.
There's no through line for that. It's a lot of non sequiturs. It's basically like the last 5 minutes is like a fucking Family Guy episode where you're just throwing jokes and jokes and jokes. But like the jokes need to they need to build up. They need to like. And I try and do something for everyone. Man, I was doing a show a couple of weeks ago, and it was like majority Indian. I'm talking like 75% of the crowd was Indian. And I do an Aziz joke, kind of like, it's not one of my favorites, and it's certainly not one of my best, but like I do an Aziz impression. Man, when I did that fucking Aziz impression, they'd like absolutely fucking lit.
Oh, really?
And like that's the other thing too, like, and I do want to touch on that. Like I still do black actors and comedians in my act. I don't.
We said Kevin Hart earlier.
I don't. I've been challenged about that in the past, and certainly around the times or the time of like George Floyd and like when Black Lives Matter kind of like really had its moment. I really got challenged about that, and like the thing is, it's like I'm not up here doing like racist type of voices with them or saying racist phrases or stereotyping. I'm literally trying to do Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
And I love
Isn't that
Tracy
well, that's
Morgan.
what Jay Morgan was one of his best impressions.
100%. And like I love Tracy Morgan, and I love Tracy Morgan's work, and I love like his fucking stand-up and his jokes, and like I try to embody that when I do whatever it is that I'm trying to do. Now, just fucking like coming out here and saying like I'm gonna, you know, what I don't want to say racist and stereotypical things, but like just doing a run of that, yeah, I would call me on that if that was happening. But like to do like I do Tracy Morgan talking about
because the context would be you're doing an impression of a black guy and you choose to just go with all the racial stereotypes.
Of course, but like I do.
No, most impressionists are never doing that. Like I would say any serious impressionist.
So when Cats came out, I was doing Tracy Morgan talking about how much he loves the movie Cats.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, I love cats. Jellicle songs for Jellicle cats. Jellicle songs for Jellicle cats. And it's like, that's me doing, like, I'm literally trying to embody his voice and capture his voice. So like, I've been challenged.
He's
like,
got like, I know it's the lips, right? He kind of like pushes his lips out almost, doesn't he? Like the way he, do it again for me if you would.
So I'll do Eddie Murphy's very famous impression of Tracy Morgan, which was on Jimmy Kimmel, where he talks about how Eddie Murphy talks about how he brought Tracy Morgan ballpark francs when he was recovering from getting hit by that Walmart truck. He's like, yeah, I gave him them francs. Give me them francs. Give me them ballpark francs. And when I was young, they used to call me Fat Murphy. Then when he was young, they used to call him Fat Murphy. Again, I don't like.
I think there's something just so funny about Tracy
It's
Morgan.
a hilarious voice, and
Just as a person, he is hilarious. Yeah, just the fact that he's like that. Yeah, he's
it's a
funny.
hilarious
He's
voice,
funny.
and he's a funny person. And like,
Yep.
so I recently did.
Shout out 30 Rock.
I did a show. Or was it a mic? I brought out an old bit that I did a long time ago, and I really think that this is a funny bit, and like I get a little touchy about whether or not, because like the way I do Chris Rock is like that's the one I probably got in like, okay, I don't know if you're, it sounds like him, but like it's like, okay, that's a little touchy or like whatever it could be, but I do Chris Rock talking about so like Louis C.K., who I alluded to earlier, like I unfortunately had known about the Louis C.K. allegations since like sometime in 2012 or 13. I think I knew about them like way before anything officially came out in 2017. And what's crazy to me is like I'm like John Q, nobody on the edge of like a comedy scene, and I know about this. His best friends have to know about this, right? And Chris Rock is one of his best friends. So I would do Chris Rock going on Howard Stern talking about Louis C.K. and like what was going on with him. So it was like, man, I don't understand why everybody's so upset about Louis. Long as I know Louis had his dick out. Louis in the writing room, Louis got his dick out. Louis backstage at the show, Louis got his dick out. Louis on set directed Pootie Tang, you bet your ass Louis had his dick out. I remember this one time at the Chris Rock show, I came in, all right, everybody, get out your yellow legal pad, number 2 pencil, Louis, put your dick away. That's just Louis. That's just Louis being Louis. And I did that, and I got this explosive reaction, and it's usually like I hate to say it this way because like it seems like, oh well, I get permission now, but it's usually like black people like love that, they think it's funny. And I've had a million black comics come up to me and be like, yo man, you're Chris Rock, dude, that's fucking fire. And I had the host come back and be like, I don't know if that's racist or not. And it's like, it's not like what racist thing did I say? It's just the idea that someone who is
If people looking for
a different
racism,
color,
yeah.
and like again, I'm not trying to put on blackface. I'm not trying to fucking play Chris Rock in a sketch. Like I'm not trying to do like whatever Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel got in trouble for. But like I don't think that I should be policed in terms of if I can find something funny and I can sound enough like the person, I think that I should have the right to go out there and say it. And like the thing that's crazy is like I've seen other impressionists that are either like mixed race or they're they seem to be white presenting, but like there's something about them that's like, gonna put them into some sort of a minority status, and like they'll go and they'll do the impression and it's fine. It's just like, okay, so you assume that I'm white because I'm Italian with an Italian last name. I'm a quarter Cuban. If that makes a difference, it shouldn't. But like, I just don't understand. Like, and I get that there are massive nuances to it, and there are histories of people that have done really bad things in terms of racial stereotyping and all that jazz. But like, I can't like sit here on a soapbox and tell anybody that they shouldn't be able to do things. I mean, I come from like observing films and stuff. Like there's a film where Marlon Brando plays an Asian person, and like they put him in fucking makeup, and like, okay, yeah, bad, not that.
Yeah.
But like, if Marlon Brando wants to go, like I do, I'm wearing a fucking shirt of him. I do Kiwi Kwong, and I love Kiwi Kwong. Kiwi Kwong's so fucking funny and sweet and cool, and he had this amazing comeback. Couple of years ago. I loved the movie so much. I was so fucking pumped when Short Round like shows up in Everything Everywhere All at Once and is kicking everyone's ass, and like that's an Academy Award winning performance for a reason and for a purpose, and like
he makes an entry in that movie for sure.
Dude, he is insanely awesome. And when I kind of learned that I could do a Kiwi Kwong impression, I was like, well, shit, I just found some Nazi gold in the backyard. I can't do that. Everyone's going to accuse me of being racist if I do a Kiwi Kwong impression. But like I'm not doing that one, but like I can do that one really, really well. And like that's the one that I can point to where it's just like I am doing this out of so much fucking love and admiration for this person. Like all he was doing during his Oscar run was taking pictures with celebrities and posting it on his Instagram. And he was so full of joy. And it was just like, okay, I can voice match this guy, and I could like do a quick impression of him. I do an impression of him in one of my impression reels if you want to fucking see that. So
how I look at it is like, if you go, I mean, I have Hispanic coworkers. I don't think it's offensive when I talk to my Hispanic coworkers in a Hispanic accent, because to me that's like relating to them. Or even if I have a coworker who he's worked here for years and years and years, and he doesn't really learn English. Not like I care, but like if I'm talking to him, to me it like naturally would happen where I'd be like, amigo, ¿cómo estás? A la mesa 32, por favor, clean, please. Like literally like that, because that's how he talks, and I'm just doing what he does. I'm literally just talking that's kind of his voice that I'm doing back to him. And the reason that it works, the reason it makes sense is because to him in his brain, all that dialect, all of like those little nuances like la mesa, table, please, like that's the way he would pronounce those words. So it's easier for him to understand it. And it's not like I'm doing this massive chess move and it's all that calculated. That's just what my brain does instinctually. And I don't understand this idea that would come from a place of hate at all. Because I just don't think, I think it's all about intention. And I think most of the time in life, you're projecting. Everyone's projecting all the time. And so I think most people don't give a fuck about anything, and most people don't care. But then you'll have those few people who see something in something and they project their view onto that thing, and like, oh, that's racist. Oh, that's offensive. It's like, in my mind, that was never even a thought that would never even have occurred to me. I'm not trying to. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to relate to this person, and I'm trying to understand this person and get into their mind in the way that they would think. So, like, I can understand wanting a world where less bad things happen. But I think, like, in that, you can end up nipping so many things in the bud that are just genuinely, that are built out of love or built out of creativity, or they have a good foundation, like an impression.
They say that impersonation is the highest form of flattery.
Yeah, and I think so.
It really is.
And I think a bad impression is one that doesn't come from love. Like, I think you need to actually have a little bit of care and love for the person you're doing the voice of. Otherwise, it feels a little gross because it feels mean. Feels like you're teasing, and I think that's where you get into like the
which political impressions. That's what makes it very interesting.
Exactly.
Or like okay, if I'm being honest, I am making fun of Aziz Ansari when I do my Aziz Ansari bit, because I do Aziz Ansari the morning that he got canceled. That's the bit. So it's like
excellent choice.
So it's like
Hop on Twitter, see what's going on. Oh, sweet, I'm trending. What? No, I got me too.
dude, and like that's making fun of the fact that he, you know, was a creep and somebody wrote an article about him. But like, you know, I do love Aziz. Fucking Aziz is having a run right now. He's been playing Cash Patel on SNL.
Oh, right,
Oh
yeah.
man, he's been fucking killing that. It's been very.
All you
fun
need
to
is
watch.
the eyes. The eyes are like 50% of the impression.
Does this bar take cash?
No, I genuinely like agree that if it's coming from a place, but like here's the thing, like our audience is like smart enough to pick up on nuance, or our audience is trained and coded in such a way that they think, oh, I should be offended by this. You know, I'm supposed to be offended by this because this is what I perceive to be happening.
Well,
right
it's
now.
group IQ, so like it takes one bad apple. Like it's like I think one audience, most
'Cause
audiences.
I'm not going up there and being like, "Hey, white guys drive a car like this, black guys drive a car like this."
Exactly, you're
Like,
not
I'm
even doing
that.
anything. And like you said, the way you described it, it's like everything will go fine, and then you'll have that one guy who will say, like the one showrunner, the one random, oh, I don't know about that. And it's like, where did you even get that idea? And I think one person spreads that, and it's like a seed. They plant the seed, and all of a sudden other people start thinking that. It's like, don't even start with that.
This is something I feel very strongly about. I feel very, very, very strongly about this. Do not editorialize someone else's shit.
That's how I feel.
Unless you're furthering it, like if you want to riff on something and you're furthering their joke and you actually want to talk to them after and be like, hey, you can have that or something like that. Like,
I've learned that this is almost a character flaw of mine, is I hate when people tell me what to do. And like earlier you were telling me about how like you got into comedy because you like the agency and how it's all on you and all that. That's why I do music. That's why I started writing poetry and doing music, like hip hop. And that's why I love what hip hop, like old school hip hop, like being an MC represents. It's all about
basketball is my favorite sport. I like that we dribble up and down the court.
maybe a little bit after that.
You don't like Curtis Blow?
But no, he blows. I just
Well, those are the breaks. Break it up, break it up, break it down.
By the way, I do love that shit. I really do. Like, I actually love it. But I just feel like, because even that, it's like, it's not even about being the best, like, lyrically. It's about being yourself. Like, that's the whole point. It's about representation and being yourself, and what hip-hop gave.
Oh, sure. Your personality is coming out in spades. Like,
yes.
It's absolutely, like, one of the art... Because, like, everybody, you know, that's traditionally singing a song, I don't know if there's a ton of character that goes along with that. I mean, certainly, like...
It depends on how much charisma I think you have as an individual.
Well, I think if you think like I'll take two of my favorite artists of like the 70s, 60s, 70s. I'll say like Billy Joel and Paul Simon, for example. Like Billy Joel and Paul Simon, yeah, they have their own uniqueness and their own like poeticisms to the songs that they're writing, but ultimately it's still very traditional in that like a lot of people could like fucking sound like that.
Yeah.
Who's sounding like the Notorious B.I.G.? You know what I mean? That is him, and that is very much like his personality on display.
Solely him. And like that's why there's this thing built in where it's like you write your own bars, you do your own things. And over time, you know, hip hop is transformed into a million different things. But I think originally you're going back, you're looking at like the template of the 80s and the 90s. It's you're a rapper first, and it's about you. It's about you doing your best and you coming up with something only you can come up with. It's all about individualism, and it's all about being yourself. And like when it comes to that, I remember when I learned how strongly I felt about this, because I had a poetry class in school, and it was like about, I want to say my senior year, and she was teaching us, and it was an English teacher who was teaching poetry. And so that was the problem, is we would write poems, and then she would say, show it to somebody, and they're going to tell you what's wrong with it, and then you're going to revise it. And I remember thinking, what? Like, I wrote this to be exactly what it is. That's what I do. So, like, for you to tell me to revise my poem, I will never revise my poetry ever. And so, as like I think I got like a D in that class, and I'm the greatest rapper of all time. So it's like, but the problem was, she was telling me to change my shit. So I'll just take the failing grade. Like, fuck that. Like, as a protest, because
okay.
I couldn't believe, like, it's a crime against my art.
I have an opinion on that. I have an opinion on that.
And I understand her perspective, but I think she's thinking like an English teacher. She's thinking literally. Art is not literal. Poetry is not literal. It's a feeling, and it's instinct, and it's. And I know this is all me, and like I said, I'm hard-headed. I probably have my built-in way of thinking about it, but it just it pained me to see that, and it really frustrated me because it made me realize like there's artless people in the world.
So I think that revision is a very important part of being an artist, and I think that it as a creator,
and you should be open to criticism.
As a creator, it is really, really, really difficult to do exactly what you said, to listen to other people. Like I've ignored other people's advice so many times in my life to great benefit for myself, because that's called betting on yourself, right?
Yeah.
You're betting on yourself. You're like, and you know what? I know that this is going to work, and I'm going to go for it, and it's going to work, and then it does. However, I do think it is really important that you listen to people. And you, first of all, with comedy, you already have a very built-in metric that lets you know what's going on, and that's if you get a fucking laugh or not. If you don't get a laugh, you can't just you can't Larry David and be like, this fucking audience, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and you just walk off the stage.
So I always say music, I can be in denial. I can just pretend.
Well,
comedy, you really can't.
Potentially, but I think it's really important to listen to your friends, if you respect them, and listen to if there's somebody you respect that comes with you as, hey, this and this, and maybe if you tighten this or do whatever. But I'll give you a great example of something recent that I observed. So my wife and I, my wife's favorite movie from when she was a kid is That Thing You Do. Tom Hanks's one written directed piece that he did in 1996.
Oh wow!
And she had always wanted to see the Tom Hanks cut of That Thing You Do, which is super duper extended by a half hour, and has all these different weird scenes and whatever. And she just wanted to see it one time. So for either her birthday or Valentine's Day or some fucking. It wasn't her birthday because this is a cheap gift. So I got her, I think it was Valentine's Day, I got her That Thing You Do, the extended Tom Hanks cut. And we watched it last weekend, and my God, it was atrocious. And it was what he originally wanted, what his original vision was. And it was you could very much tell that it wasn't the vision of a director. It was the vision of an actor who was trying to over-explain motivations for characters. We looked it up, and
when did this movie come out?
1996.
Okay.
So he basically did his run of, he did Philadelphia. He did Philadelphia, Forrest Gump.
Castaway.
Philadelphia, Forrest Gump, Apollo 13, and at that point he had the most juice he ever had.
Oh, it was those three, huh?
And so it was well, I'm going to go get into directing and producing.
Okay.
So then that was his first thing. He directed That Thing You Do, and then he produced From the Earth to the Moon and directed some of the episodes for HBO, and then he directed and produced Band of Brothers for HBO as well, and he won a ton of Emmys and shit like that for his work there. But we looked up who the editor was for this film, and I'm going to forget the guy's name, but it was the guy who edited The Godfather. Also edited That Thing You Do, and we were just oh my God, thank fucking God that you made sure that this movie got tightened up.
Yeah.
Because if this movie had not gotten, because it's a classic, I mean, it's a really good movie, but if you hadn't done any of that, Tom Hanks would have walked away with egg on his fucking face. So again, that's really important.
30 extra minutes of character motivation.
It's just bullshit, and it's just really important that you do have somebody that's reining you in. Somebody that's Tarantino would not have a career without Sally Menke. Sally Menke was his editor. That was his editor on Reservoir Dogs, on Pulp Fiction, on everything through Inglourious Basterds. She unfortunately tragically passed away before Django Unchained. Who knows what she would have done with that? But she really helped mold these films, and if it wasn't for her, I don't know what the real vision would have been. And that's why it's the editor is so fucking important when it comes to these stories being told. And that's why, again, it's very important for you to edit. My piece that I was talking about, the queef thing, that's gone through several different iterations with several different punchlines in different places, and it's been updated and it's been curated. But if I wasn't that meticulous about it and not listen, I've listened to friends' feedback and stuff like that, it wouldn't be, if it was the original thing that I did. It's crazy because if you keep a good volume of your recordings, and I got everything on my phone, I listened to the very first time that I did it. I found it when I was looking through some old shit a while back when I was writing, and I was oh my God, this is the first time I did it, and it's so drastically different than what it evolved into.
Right.
But it's you need to have that initial instinct of what you think is going to be the thing, and then it gets there. I think that that's interesting too about how jokes will evolve with time, and if you get to a finished published version of it, great, but you can always change it. One of my
Yeah, and I've seen
one of my best
big
friends,
comics say don't even throw away special jokes. Like keep all of them.
One of my best friends,
there's always something more there.
Is Adam Gilbert's one of my best friends. I love him very much, and Adam has been absolutely going on a tear since he moved to New York. He did this amazing joke a couple of years ago, which is it's Trump describing a minion.
Yeah,
and it is such a fucking. He did it at the Humboldt Jungle, so he did it at Joe's show, and Joe Ames, and it's a fucking phenomenal clip. It's so fucking funny. He did it again, I think I'm trying to remember if it was Don't Tell or I forget where he got it recorded and put it up another reel of it, but he changed it. He evolved it over time, and it's one of those things where it's just like you saw how it really worked that first time, and then you saw what he did to change it to make it work even more.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay that like that can happen. And I would encourage you, like, think about how that could change with music too.
Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't have to be the end all be all.
but I
This is
find
how
that
the
to
song
be-
goes. Like it could always change.
when it comes to stuff like that, I find that to be more. I figure out stuff like that in performing. Like, oh, in this song I can do this, or I can use this, and it's like sequencing, and like that's what I learn at open mics when I'm doing songs is like, oh, this is useful. Like one of my tricks now is a song called Mr. Whole Time, and it works everywhere always, and it's kind of like a no-brainer. I'm amazed that it's like not. It would be hack if everybody did it. But nobody does it. And so for the song, and it only works for this song, I save it for this song because you can't overdo it or it ruins it. You stand on a stool. And you got to stand on the stool in a way that's going to make people nervous.
Okay.
So it's like, at first, I like what I like to do is kind of hop up on the stool. So, because I'm good at this. I'm good at not falling, essentially, and making people
Until you
nervous.
break the
'cause they
fucking
think
stool
I'm
that
gonna-
one time.
Until I break the stool, or until I go to the wrong bar and they yell at me and say, "What the fuck are you doing standing on our chairs?" But it always works because it's a moment. It creates a moment. I mean, the first time, and it's all about creating moments. Like that's really what you're doing, especially if I'm at like an open mic or I'm at like an open mic. I'm learning how to do that. I'm learning how do I make this memorable to where it's going to stick out above everything else. And I already have, like, if it's like we're talking about a comedy open mic, I already have the advantage of like this is different than everything else, and I know it is. But how do I like punch you in the face with that and make it just happen right away? And it's always figuring out different ways to do that, and that's kind of like how I like to be adaptive and learn. So like every time I do, what I try to do is if I'm going to like a new place or if there's enough context floating around in my mind, I'll try to write something special just for that. Like if I ever get put on a show, it's a guarantee I'll have like a rap written that's going to be like 30 seconds to a minute long just for the show, tailor-made. I'll say everybody's names. I'll do everything. Because to me, that makes everything special. And it's a trick that you can always do. The first time I went to Trigger Warning, that's exactly what I did. And I have like let's see, what did I write for the Trigger Warning rap? Because I was thinking, like it makes it so they'll never ever forget that shit. It makes it so every single time they see you, they'll associate, and this is really just for Ed Towns and James Fisher Jr. And like it's so they know who I am. That's really the point, but it's also to create an impression of the people in the room. And it's also like this is something I've learned through doing all of this. It's always about basking in the silence beforehand. Like they announce my name, and it's even better because they did the whole like first time, last time, first time, last time, first time, last time. Yeah. So it's all there, all the tension's there, and it's built, and that's what you want. So then go up there. This the template, I'm laying a bed down, displaying it to my brethren, I take it to Ed Towns. Next round, the present popping, cause this the future. Off the hook, that's how it happens, the Fishers Jr. I take him out with the south hook, and uppercut, up in the lounge, fucking up output, the couch shook. Funny enough, it's just the way it goes. When I rap, I'm black, how's that for a racist joke? Another level, look up and level a winner sorting. He never settled for nothing but something bigger forming. So what's the trouble? I love the battle of quit is boring. A straight shooter, I tell you first, it's a trigger warning. You do your mic drop moment, you have the beat come in, and then the song I was talking about, that's the moment. Because now this song comes in, the stool's right there, and wait, beat kicks in, pop up on the stool, and then now I wrap up on the stool and I'm looking down on everybody. That's fucking, the whole thing's a moment. And the whole point is, how do you do that in a 20-minute set, and how do you create a bunch of different moments? And that's what I am always trying to think about, and I'm trying to figure out is like, because the song's a song, but how do I take that song and make it something special? And that's what I like to do. Because in my mind, like, what I'm doing when I'm writing is sacred, and I don't want anybody ever fucking tell me a thing. You can't. It's this why I love it, is that I can write it and it's perfect to me and I love it, and yeah, I can go back and edit, but almost I never do, because I always wrote it the way it is on purpose. Like, it's that's what it is. Every single syllable is there for a reason. And so it's then, how do I take that and make that dynamic and make that feel special and in the moment? And that's that's like the experiment for me. And that's why I like open mics for me. And that's why I don't even want to go to a rap open mic, because I don't even think they'll get it. I won't stick out as much. It won't be as special. I need it to be, I need that element of surprise.
Sure.
It does something. And I know that I can utilize that. And it's like, I think with the best comics, they'll often tell you, or at least comics who've done it for a long time, they'll usually tell you that at a certain point, you stop even kind of thinking about the material and you start thinking about stage presence and like how you carry yourself and all this stuff. Like, that's the stuff that ends up being the sell. And then the material just kind of sits there, and the material grows and it gets better, but really it's you and it's who you are.
I should probably videotape myself more often. I got enough of myself on tape that I kind of know what I do with my body and whatnot. But like when I'm doing mics, I only do audio, because I'm really just like kind of recording for content at that point. I'm not necessarily thinking about the physicality, but like the physicality is really, really important. I do see comics that like literally tape every single fucking thing, and I hopefully I'm not sure if they're trying to clip mine or what they're doing, but yeah, I do think it's important to like see yourself in that respect. You just sort of took me into a place with the trigger warning rap. I'm sure this is a stupid question, because I'm sure you're a fan of this. You've seen Hustle and Flow, I hope.
Yeah.
I think Hustle and Flow is one of the greatest movies ever made about the creative process. I think that it is like, so it's interesting. I've met the director, Craig Brewer. He was here, couple weeks after my son was born, and it was Labor Day, and they did a hip-hop music festival at the Music Box. And that Monday, they had Hustle and Flow, like around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They did Hustle and Flow with Craig Brewer, the director, in attendance. And it was like the most sparsely attended screening at the Music Box for someone of that ilk. Like the fucking writer-director of a film of that stature in attendance. And like, there were probably 30 people there. Now, granted, it was Labor Day, and it was a gorgeous Labor Day weekend, and it was 4 o'clock. I'm sure people were at barbecues and shit. But, like, I was locked in, and I was there to fucking see Craig Brewer. And I got to meet him ahead of the show, and I got to tell him just what an impact his movie had on me. Because, like, Hustle and Flow is literally about this total piece of shit failure of a person. I mean, he's selling drugs, he's selling women, and he has given up on himself in so many capacities. But all of a sudden, he gets his passion reignited by some fucking addict comes and tries to pay for his weed, or I'm sure he was on stuff harder than weed, but like he's trying to pay for a nickel bag with a keyboard. And that little moment reignites this passion in him. Like, shit, I used to be an MC. I used to like want to do this. And like he starts fucking around with it. All of a sudden, it's like, well, shit, like, what if I recorded a record? And like, I applaud you, Ruse, because like we're here and like we're kind of in your own DIY setup, and like you're trying to push this out and make it happen for yourself. But like, that's kind of what that movie is all about. It's about like, hey, if you got the tools, like anybody can fucking do this shit, and anybody's got a dream. If they got a dream, they got to fucking do it, and they got to get it out. But like, he's in the situation where he is like, DJ, he's like at the absolute bottom of the fucking barrel here. And yet he's got a song that he wants to get out. He's got a message, he's got a vision, and he's got this like vampiric need to create. Yeah. And it doesn't matter, like, sure, does he want to get rich off of it? Sure, does he want to get famous off of it? Of course. But everybody gotta have a dream, man. And like he makes that fucking thing. And my God, when like there isn't like really, in most like music movies or biopics or anything like that, they have like that performance at the end of the movie that like is like, okay, we're leading up to that. Like that's not what this movie has. This movie has the creation, man. When they're fucking creating whoop that trick, like that like first moment where you see them like fucking Anthony Anderson and DJ Qualls are like tinkering with the beat and like tinkering with his hook and like trying to figure out, and then they produce or they show up to him with that first like little bit of whoop that trick, and then he starts fucking like going over, I'm gonna make these suckers recognize I ain't playing ho. If you violate off the top trick, you gotta go, man. It is like this explosive fucking thing. I remember seeing that in 2005, and I was just like, my fucking god, this is a masterpiece moment. And then I heard the director talk about his inspiration for that, and Craig Brewer was talking about how he was in a production of Amadeus, which is Salieri and Mozart, and Salieri helps Mozart compose the Requiem, and that's like a very powerful scene in that film. Won Tony for Best Production, won the Academy Award for Best Picture. F. Murray Abraham very famously won Best Actor for that. And he was talking about how that scene in that film really informed how he wanted to do a music movie. He's like, I want to do, and that's how he was pitching it. John Singleton, the great producer and director who did Boys in the Hood, he was pitching the movie with him, and Craig Brewer would be like, "Yeah, I want to do like Amadeus, but for hip hop." And he's like, "Yeah, don't say that shit anymore. No one's gonna give us money for this shit's ever gonna know what the fuck you're talking about." But that's essentially exactly what it is. And I remember him saying it's Amadeus for hip hop, and this is the scene from Amadeus that I was trying to like mimic, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. And I had this huge revelation moment when I discovered Hustle and Flow was in the winter of 2006, because it came out in the summer of 05, and it kind of looked like a joke to me because it was like this MTV movie, and like the way that MTV like put the trailer out for it, like it really leaned into Hard Out Here for a Pimp, and like that's kind of a ridiculous thing to hear for the first time without the context of the film. And like, so they do like, it's hard out here for a pimp, and it's like, what the fuck is this movie? So I totally skipped over it, but then it got like Oscar nominations for the song and for Terrence Howard's performance, and I watched it, and I was so blown away by it. And what's crazy is, dude, I was in a fucking production of Amadeus.
Yeah.
And I was playing Salieri, and I was literally doing that scene on stage, and I didn't put it together that this piece of art that had such an impact on me in that moment was literally the thing I was doing on stage as a young man, as a 21-year-old. And it blew my fucking mind, and I had to chase Craig Brewer down after the thing, and I was just like, dog, you know, first of all, your movie and how much it means to me, but like, dude, I was in Amadeus at the time that this movie came out. And he goes, oh yeah, I did Amadeus in college too. I was like, who'd you play? He's like, I was Salieri. I was like, I was fucking Salieri. And then we had this bro hug, and like, that dude's fucking amazing. And he's been so impactful for me in terms of just like points in time in my life, and points of time where like no one fucking believes in you, or no one is going to give you a shot. Dude, we all have fucking movie studios in our pockets. You can make anything, anywhere, at any time. You just have to have the drive, the grit, the ability, the passion to do it.
Yeah, and what I've learned is that most people, they have all kinds of ideas, but most people just don't execute that much. They just don't. And so, like, you have to learn how to... Because I think that if you're somebody who thinks that way and you're productive and you're creative, you kind of have to learn to ignore a lot of shit and ignore a lot of things people say and ignore a lot of things, because you have to remember you are one of the few that are productive. Like, it's just is what it is. And unproductive people are the ones who give you the most advice and they have the most to say. And like, it's all these things that I just feel like, and I'm not saying that other people's opinions are valid, and it could be a broken clock is right twice a day. It could be anybody who says anything that could light the light bulb and make you realize something. But it's like, I just can't tell you the amount of times I've seen people and I've talked to people and they're so talented or good, or there's a spark in them, and I can just feel like, oh, they're not going to do the thing. Like, I can just see the way they approach their career, and it's like, oh, they're just never going to do that thing. But they're awesome and they're great, and I want the best for them. But I know if I'm thinking about, like, if I'm being realistic, like in the world we are in 2026, it's just not going to happen. And it makes me sad. And I've learned you can't only help people so much. You know, like I got my mom in me. I want to help everybody. I want to see the best in everybody. And it hurts because, again, there's talent. There's so much fucking talent.
One of the saddest things in life is wasted talent. Bronx Tale.
Yeah, is that who said that?
Bronx Tale. That's Chaz Palminteri. One of the saddest things in life is wasted talent.
I would agree with that 100%. Yeah, or wasted potential. Even I would put it in a wasted potential because people are just fucking. They're like a wind-up doll that's ready to go. But I think people don't put themselves in the right situations, or they don't. I think really the trick is what I figured out for me is you have to create rules and structures and reasons for you to get shit done. That's how you do it. You go, like for this, I had to say every 3 days. I'm doing a podcast every 3 days and I don't give a fuck. Like I'm doing it every 3 days and I have to because that's the way this will get to where I need it to be. And there's no other way it'll get to where I need it to be unless I do it like that.
Bring Tom Bambara on. Have him talk about racism and impressions. Yeah. Have him try to defend... Hopefully to a defendable point that it's okay.
We're skyrocketing, folks.
Not for you, because I'm mixed race. You're not mixed race.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do the Kevin Hart impression.
I mean, it's crazy. I'll tell you what, it is crazy to like look on a form. So just to give you just a genuine idea of my ethnic makeup, I'm on my mom's side, I'm half German. On my dad's side, or pardon me, I'm half German because of my mom's side, and then my dad is Italian and Cuban. The Cubans were Italian, though, in a weird capacity. So, like, the Cubans were half Italian themselves. So, like, my dad is, like 66% Italian and 33% Hispanic. And,
Yeah.
like, the crazy thing for me is... But, like, it would technically, like, on a census be 50-50. He'd be half Italian, half Cuban. And for me, like, I'm a quarter Cuban. And I can absolutely like apply to college and things and say that I'm Hispanic. But like when I get to that question where it's just like white, non-Hispanic, but then there isn't an option to like put like whatever type of Latino I am. And also the fact that like, again, I grew up with a dad. My dad can speak Spanish, but like we didn't really grow up with a lot of the Spanish and Cuban influence because like my grandmother married an Italian guy, and back in those days in Greatest Generation types, like she sort of just assimilated toward Italian stuff. So all the things that like I grew up with on that side of the family were all very, very much ethnically like Italian Catholic, except for like when there'd be some moment with like Desi Arnaz on I Love Lucy when my grandmother would like play up our Cubanness, or like this movie came out in the early 90s called The Mambo Kings. It was Antonio Banderas' very first movie. And like she was like telling me about the Copacabana back then and like all that kind of stuff. So like it was very like strange to like, again, you have this heritage, but you don't have this identity in a way. But like I absolutely am this, and it's funny to have like people try and take it away from you too. It's just like, oh, you're white. It's like, well, I can cop to that absolutely, but like I also have this portion of me that like is not necessarily expressed, that you're not seeing, and I also don't know how valid that would make me as any kind of minority, and like that's why I try and like not even think about it. Like I really don't like. In terms of like, I'm probably very white presenting. I would say that I probably look, of all my traits, I look the most Italian of anything that I have in me. And, you know, I'd certainly try and play that up in my act as much as I can. And I'm, you know, again, being raised with half of that family being very ethnically Italian. Like my mom also kind of assimilated into that. Like my mom, like, doesn't know what fucking Wiener Schnitzel is or anything like traditional German cooking. Like she's always cooked Italian stuff for my dad because that's what like he grew up eating, and like that's the kind of food that she learned how to cook. And like I'm very, very much tied to my Italian ancestry, and like I've been over to Italy, and like I absolutely like love that side of things. But like I also kind of can lean into the German thing, and like I think it's, again, I could go on another fucking 2 hours with you, bud. But like what's crazy for me is like I was raised to be a chameleon. Yeah. I really was raised to be a chameleon, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So my parents met in New York City in the 70s. My mom is from a very small farming community in central Pennsylvania. My dad is from Brooklyn, from an Italian neighborhood, and I grew up in the South. I was born in Philadelphia, and we moved from Philadelphia to Northern Virginia, Warrenton, Virginia, when I was 7 years old. So I grew up a Southerner, raised by like New Yorkers, sort of. My aunt, tried and true New Yorker for her entire life. She just recently moved down to Florida, but she converted to Judaism in the early 80s and married my Uncle Mark. So like they are like Long Island Jews. So like I got side of my family that's Long Island Jews. I got a side of my family that's like Pennsylvania Dutch farmers. I'm living in a Southern community, and all the influences of people that have traditional Southern families, and like then there's my black friends that I know in the community as well. And I just like feel like I grew up in such a point where it's funny because they call him on this in The Departed when they're talking to Leo before he becomes part of the secret police. And he's like, do you have 2 fucking accents? You did, didn't you, you fucking little fuck? You had 2 accents. But that's code switching, right? That's being able to like kind of blend in wherever you are. Like if I'm with the farmers in central PA and they're all talking like this, like you kind of like blend into that. If I'm with the New Yorkers, like you got to blend in with that. If you're in school, like college, like wherever. And I've always like found that like I think because of my heritage and just my upbringing, I've always been able to carry on a conversation with pretty much anyone in any context for any reason. It's also because I have a ton of eclectic taste, and I could typically like hone in on something that someone is gonna want to talk about with me.
Yeah.
But like I can blend in, and that's what's having access to such a multifaceted background. Like I've learned so many different things about different cultures and like observe different things, and it's just so fun to me to have all that in me and then to use that in whatever capacities. I want to say something else about impressions and like doing what I've learned about them over time. And again, it's like impressions the highest form of flattery, right? The best impressions that I do aren't celebrities. The best impressions that I do are like people I've worked with or my family members and the people I've spent a lot of time with. And something that like I do currently at my job is like I'll do impressions of people that haven't worked at the company in like a year, 2 years, 3 years. But like they're all people that everyone was fond of, and it's like me doing the impression of them almost keeps their spirit alive or keeps them in our consciousness. So like my grandfather, Sturman Mosser, passed away in 2012. So he hasn't been with us for like 14 years. But like I grew up doing impressions of my grandfather, and I would do I did this one impression of my grandfather one time. It was after my brother lost a big football game in 1999, and it was like everybody was super sad about it. And we had picked him up from the game, and like we were sad that the loss had happened. And I just like felt like there was something that needed to break the tension. So I did an impression of my grandfather, and I went, "Well, now who's for yogurt?" Which is we had like a TCBY, Country's Best Yogurt, around the corner, and that made everybody laugh. And we all went and got fucking soft serve yogurt. They thought that was something that my grandfather had said. They thought that he had said, "Well, now who's for yogurt?" at some point. It's like, wasn't that something that Pop said? It's like, no, he never said that. That's literally just me impersonating him at that one moment. But that became like a family catchphrase. Well, now who's for insert whatever? Because I said that one time, and it was like an iconic moment in our family. So now that he's been gone for as long as he's been gone, like I still do an impression of him to my cousins and to my brother and stuff, and it keeps his memory alive. And like, I think that that's really important to keep the people that you love, especially if they're like notable, remarkable. Like anybody can be impersonated. I've actually never seen anybody do an impression of me, which I'll take it with a grain of salt. I'm sure somebody out there could, but and then maybe I'm not imitable in that way. But I think it's really important to keep people's memories alive, to keep their essence alive and their souls alive in a big way. And I mean, that's a big reason that like I'm probably never gonna drop Gilbert from my act, because like I want more people to know who he was. I mean, even just outside of he was the fucking parrot in Aladdin. Like I want you to know who he was. I want you to know kind of comic that he was, what kind of impact he had on everybody else that was in his presence and in his audiences and just in his sphere. And it keeps people alive, and I'm very blessed that I have the talent to be able to do them. I hope that I can continue to find people that I want to do in my act, and I hope that I get funny enough one day that I'm writing such transcendent material that I don't need the impressions anymore. But until then, I'm going to keep them on.
There was a comedian who told me recently that somebody did a Gilbert Gottfried impression at a show they were at, and then it was like a bunch of 40-year-old women, and then they it wasn't going great, and then they pivoted into aristocrats, and it went even worse. This wasn't you, was it?
No.
I'm trying to remember who she said it was. I think it was. I can't even remember who told me. It was just such a funny story.
I told the aristocrats joke on stage one time, and it was the week that Gilbert had died. I was very broken up about it, and I actually had not done comedy in a minute. I was taking some time off. This was, I think, when my wife was pregnant, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go find some stage time, and I'm gonna go do the aristocrats joke. And this is when my friend Adrian Stout was running Shuba's, and I was like, I think Shuba's is like the perfect place to go do this. So I did the aristocrats joke that night. And I think I even went a little long. They let me go a little long telling the aristocrats joke. But
for those that don't know, the aristocrats joke is like known as the most vulgar joke of all time. That's the whole point. You're supposed to be pushing the boundaries.
I'll do a very quick version of the aristocrats joke, and I'll just tell it as myself. I won't tell it as Gilbert Gottfried. It's like a man walks into a talent agent, and the talent agent, and he says, okay, a man walks into a talent agent's office. He says, boy, do I have an act for you. And the talent agent says, okay, well, what's the act? He says, oh, I've got this family, and they do the wildest things. So here's how the act starts. The father comes out, and he, like, is fucking the mom. And then the sister is fucking the brother. And then the dog is fucking the dad in the ass. And, like, basically, you just can do whatever you want with the joke. You tell it in a million different ways and directions. You can, like, have them doing, like, fucking trapeze. You can have them doing handstands, like, whatever it is. But the point is to get it as filthy as you possibly can. And layer it with as many filthy things. Yeah. And then at the end of the joke, after everything's done, they like you finish it somehow. Okay, you just like say, and then the act is done. And then you go to the reaction of the talent agent who has just like heard you say all these horrible things. And the guy goes, Jesus Christ, what do you call an act like that? And then it ends with the aristocrats. So the joke is really supposed to be about like why the punchline works is the aristocrats is like rich people, right? The richest people in the highest society, right? The people on the fucking Epstein list, essentially, is like who the aristocrats are.
It aged well.
And yeah, so Gilbert like had this moment with the joke where he was at a roast. He had just done a 9/11 joke very shortly after 9/11. It didn't go very well, and he pulled out the aristocrats joke and he told like the filthiest version of this joke, and it absolutely like crushed this roast, and it like regained his ground, and it was like probably one of the more legendary tellings of it. It's a great documentary that Penn Jillette of Penn and Teller did. I'm fucking 41, man. It shows because I say shit like that. My dad used to do that all the time with like Nathan Lane. There was an actor named Nathan Hale. Nathan Lane, the voice of Timon and from The Birdcage. So he would always call Nathan Lane Nathan Hale, and it would drive me fucking crazy. So I do shit like that. Penn and Teller. Penn Jillette produced a documentary about the aristocrats, and it's got a million comedians in it talking about it and doing a version of the joke. But yeah, I did a version of the joke as Gilbert, and it was just like, to do it as him is just wild, because like impersonating as Gilbert Gottfried is kind of like impersonating as Christopher Walken, because like you can just like throw a billion non sequiturs in, and it will just make sense. Like Christopher Walken talking about hot dogs, like, oh, hot dog, love it, gotta get the buns with the sesame seeds or poppy seeds. Poppy seeds, can you believe it? They make opium out of poppy seeds. You're gonna be in an opium den someday, hanging with a cat, recording a podcast with Ruse, but you're not on opium. You're just sitting there on Dunkin' Donuts coffee. America runs on Dunkin'. Can you believe it? Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, why haven't they been in a movie together in so long? They have been. They're producing together. They're making movies, shitty movies for Apple TV, good movies, bad movies, Netflix. Can you believe it? They haven't put out a comedy that anybody's liked in a million years. By the way, I was in Wedding Crashers. Oh my God, what a movie. So like you can literally just like fucking hop. Just like as long as you like say whatever it is, like non sequiturs out the ass will just like continue to keep that thing afloat. And that's Gilbert doing the aristocrat joke. You can just always just fucking throw. And then the daughter puts a rat in her ass. Or like whatever you want to do.
Yeah. I need to watch. I need to go back and watch. First of all, I need to watch the documentary. I never watched it, but I remember I caught a couple of them growing up, And I didn't even remember him that well. I thought I remembered him pretty well, but the other day I just watched Bob Saget's, and oh man, it's so good. And that was, my favorite.
He does they pinch a hemorrhoid out and puts it on like a clown nose. Yeah.
There's so many little touches that he adds. My favorite is that the dad punches out the teeth of the mom and then fists her throat and then spins her around like this. And it's just the image of that. I mean, there's a certain amount of creativity that you need to have to be able to do a good Aristocrats, in my opinion. Because you have to, it shows, and I read a comment because I was just going through the comments because it was interesting. If you go back and look at Bob Saget's Aristocrats, just type it on YouTube and look at the comments. There's a lot of comments saying like, oh, a lot of people aren't getting it. And those are the top comments. And I was like, well, where's all the people not getting it? But then I hit newest. And it's like, all of the recent comments are people not getting it. And I realized, oh, people still really don't get like people will watch that and they are like, oh, this is horrible. This is horrifying. And they think Bob Saget's a terrible person. But I saw one comment that said, it had like no likes or anything. And it said like the type of person that would laugh at something like this, like it shows intelligence to laugh at something like this because you realize how awful it is. And that's part of the layers
it's
of
gallows
the joke.
humor. It's, I mean, it's the worst of the worst.
And
like,
the fact that you're going as far as you can with it is to a reasonable person, that's funny because we all know what you're doing. We all know that stuff's taboo and uncomfortable and you shouldn't be saying that. That's why it's funny. Whereas I think somebody who's a little bit shaky and on the fence and not as secure, they're the person who's going to see a joke like that and be like, oh, I just get shocked.
You have to have a wealth of confidence to tell that joke. I've only told the joke once.
I think to witness that joke, you have to have
I've only
confidence.
told that joke one time on stage. I mean, I could tell that, like, if we're like all hanging out at a party and someone says, hey, Tom, do the Aristocrats joke, I'll go do the Aristocrats joke. But like, it's
little touches never do it justice. Like, you have to hear a full 10-minute Aristocrat joke to understand the depths of it. Because I mean, I think, like, to me, I don't have a limit. I can hear that I don't care. But I can see how a limit can be drawn at a certain... I mean, the joke is trying to hit all the taboos. You're basically trying to run through everything one by one by one. You're trying to get the animals. You're trying to get the scat. You're trying to get the blood. You're trying to get the incest.
I
You're
use
trying to get
rats because
everything.
rats are the most disgusting thing in the world to me, and like I think that there's something about rats in the joke that like will really just give everybody the creepy crawlies, but then also start laughing about it. I always have like the rat burrow into the skull of the dad and then start taking control of the dad like a weird Ratatouille Frankenstein type thing.
That's a nice touch.
You know, I try.
Goes in through the ass, right? And then goes all the way up to
All
the
way
skull?
up to the there you go.
I would just assume. I don't know.
You assume correctly.
Assume. Thank you. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. You ever hear that one?
That's an adage.
That's an adage. Adage?
Adage, yes.
What does that mean?
It's like a saying. It's an adage.
Wow.
Popular phrase.
Never heard that word. I've heard like idiom. I've heard turn of phrase. I've heard all those. Never heard the word adage.
There you go. Add it to your vocabulary.
I will adage it to my vocabulary. I gotta pee real quick.
We're going to Bruno Mars tomorrow. I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I bet.
Bruno's like been the top.
He hasn't done a studio tour or a stadium tour in a while?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah. He's been at the top of my. I always do this like good icebreaker game where you do your favorite so it's a concert icebreaker game. It's the best concert you've ever been to. The person that's current that you want to see in concert. The person that is a legend that you'd like to see before they hang it up. And then, so best concert you've ever been to, current artist that you want to see in concert, legendary artist that you want to see before they're done. And then I've actually added a new wrinkle onto it recently, which is artist that is dead or isn't performing anymore that you would love to see.
Okay. And so you got one?
Well, Bruno was absolutely like on my current person that I really, really, really want to see, and he hasn't performed in so long that now he's become like legend I need to see before he dies.
Oh yeah, yeah. Why does he not perform? Is there a reason?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, he was doing Vegas stuff for a really long time. Like he'd just do pop-ups in Vegas for like several weeks and then be done. But
like an Elvis-like thing.
No, I'm really, really pumped. So we have to go clean the apartment so that our babysitters are not going into a total fucking mess of toys and bullshit.
So it's just you and your wife, or just
and
you guys?
child, yes,
and child.
Yeah.
See, the child witnessing Bruno Mars is interesting.
Oh, he's not going to Bruno Mars. He's staying at home with the babysitter.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah,
just me and
yeah.
my wife. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. It's a night out, Bruno.
And I think Bruno Mars, I never really thought about his live show. I imagine he'd go all the way out. He seems like the type of guy who it's like blinded by the lights. He's going to dazzle you. He's going to 24K magic. Yeah.
I can't wait.
You
Hope he
ever
plays all the
do,
hits.
that makes me think, do you ever sing when you do impressions? Do you ever do like try to do like singing voices and do songs?
Yeah, I do musical impressions all the time.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I do Elvis doing Wet Ass Pussy.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
a good one.
I haven't done that one in a while, but oh, you fucking with some wet ass pussy. Bring a bucket and I'm up, baby. Wet ass pussy. Give it everything you got, honey. Wet ass pussy. Oh yeah, talking about that wet ass pussy. That pussy's wet.
Reminds me of Dick Cheese, Richard Cheese.
Oh yeah. I love Richard Cheese. I love that shit. Yeah, I love. Honestly, like I feel like you can sing if you can sing. Take a pop song, and like the good test of a pop song is like, could Elvis cover it? Could Johnny Cash cover it? Could Jack Black cover it? If all three of them are true, you probably have a universally great song. So I used to do, I think I still do it sometimes. I haven't done it in a while. I do Jack Black. Singing the ABC song because I've been hearing the ABC song a lot with my kid. So it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, fucking P, Q, R, S, T, U, and V, W, and X, and Y, and Z. Now I fucking know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me and Elmo? Oh, it says the end with and Elmo.
That's pretty good. Now, can you do talking Jack Black or just singing?
Fucking cello. You got a bass right there? Oh, wait, what do you got? You got a cello right there? Turn on its side. Cello. You got a bass. Coming at you! Next song.
I could probably do all the Tenacious D
Kung
bits.
Fu Panda.
I tell you what, man, that guy is, I swear to God, he's got to win an Academy Award for one of these fucking songs that he comes up with for these stupid movies. Like, the Peaches song is just insanely good. It has no reason being as good as it's good. The Lava Chicken song is holy fucking shit good.
He's always been an incredible musician. I mean, you probably know Tenacious D.
I saw Tenacious D when I was 20-something. I was standing about as close as I am to you from Jack Black. I was like right up front. I had a GA ticket for a college show of his at a college in Northern Virginia, George Mason College, and I was like literally fucking standing right there next to him. Huge guy, just fucking giant.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't tall. He was a fucking big fucking fat guy. He was just like, it was impressive, his level of girth.
And he's one of those people who is just raw charisma. Like, it's the same exact energy that makes him so great in everything, and like in music too. Like, as a performer, he's just, how do I even put it? Like with his rock music, it's comedic, but not really. Especially like the Tenacious D songs that aren't comedic. Like there's the metal. I would say the metal's not a comedic song. I would say
Dio has rocked for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Now it's time for him to pass the torch.
Yeah.
He has songs of wildebeest and angels. He has sung on the wings of a demon.
Dude, yeah.
His sauce will mix with ours, and we'll make a nice goulash, baby. Dio, time to go.
I'll be Kyle Gass. How about that?
And another one for KG. That's me. Yeah.
But Pick of Destiny, I mean, that movie like changed, probably rewired my neural chemistry for a little while as a kid.
I'm glad someone got something out of it.
Oh my God. Like, I was probably 10 watching that.
Oh, Christ, man.
I deactivated a laser with my dick. Now it's time to blow this
Can't
fucker
you see
down.
he's the man? Once you hear him applause, he is more than a man. He's a shiny golden god. If you want to take the fucking rock and fucking roll under control.
And that's how him and Kyle Gass meet.
in the movie.
He is going to kick its fucking ass, and you know his name is Kyle Gass. Rocking and fucking rolling and fucking rocking and fucking rolling and fucking.
Fucking waking the cat up, Christ.
Oh, what the fuck is that? What is that song called? Oh, that whole album, dude, is so
I think that's like
good.
Classico or something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. Yes. God, like I love that movie so fucking much. It really that's probably one of my favorite comedy films ever. Makes me really upset that nothing ever came out of it like other than that, because they could have totally done a sequel. It just never happened. They could still do it now, but they won't.
So I have done, so my wife and I, when we got together, we met the week before Valentine's Day drunk in a bar, as you would. And we went out for our first date on Valentine's Day. And the reason was because I was going to go out of town. I was actually going to New York for vacation like 2 weeks later. And so if we didn't go out that week, we probably weren't going to go out because it just would have been one of those things where we met and then it like ran its course or whatever. But we set up a date for Valentine's Day, and she's like, "Ooh, Valentine's Day, is that going to be weird?" And I was like, "Let's just pretend it's not Valentine's Day." And so we did, and we had a really good time. And it got to the point where we'd been dating for like maybe 4 weeks, and her birthday, my wife's birthday, is the 20th of March, and so late March birthday, she was on the fence about whether her new boyfriend was going to come to her birthday party or not, but like. Her birthday party is always a karaoke birthday party because all her friends can sing and I can obviously sing. And she was like, shit, he would have so much fun if he came. You know what? Let's just forget about the awkwardness of whether or not like I'm bringing like my guy I'm seeing to this thing. You can just come to the party. So we came, or I came to the party with her, and we had a really good time. But it was at this place that's recently been canceled and shut down called Spinners over in Lincoln Square. Spinners used to have a really good open mic scene, and it used to have a really fucking amazing karaoke. And so what my wife does for her birthday is she creates a spreadsheet with all of her friends on it, and then she gives each one of her friends 3 karaoke songs. And so the rule is for your first song, you have to sing one of the ones that Amanda picks for you. And for any of the others that you do whatever. So one of the songs that my wife picked for me was Tribute. And I was like, well, shit, I'm absolutely doing fucking Tribute. So I went into and the guy who was the DJ, the karaoke DJ, was this really sassy gay man. And I put in for Tribute. And he calls me over as soon as he puts in it. He goes, "You're not doing this." And I go, "Excuse me?" Talking about people like telling you not what to do. He goes, "Yeah, honey, no one can do this one. So you're not doing it." And I go, I'm doing it. And he goes, "I have seen so many people think that they can do this, and then they fall on their fucking face." And I go, "Put the fucking song on. We're doing this." And then, dude, I absolutely fucking blew the goddamn roof off the room doing Tribute. And all of her friends are just like, "Oh my God, who is this guy?" And then the fucking bartender or the DJ, when it's done, is like, "Okay, I stand corrected. You're the only one I've ever seen be able to do this one." This is a song.
The song I'm thinking about is...
Oh, absolutely. Getting to
Yeah, that's like the part I think where it takes a lot of Jack Blackiness. You got to pull it all.
This is the greatest and best song in the world. Tribute. Long time ago, me and my brother Ruse here, we were hitchhiking down a long and lonesome road when all of a sudden there shined a shiny demon in the middle of the road. And he said, "Play the best song in the world or I'll eat your soul." Well, me and Ruse, we looked at each other and we each said, "Okay," and we played the first thing that came in our heads. Just so happened to be the best song in the world. It was the best song in the world. Look into my eyes and it's easy to see. 1 and 1 make 2, 2 and 1 make 3. It was destiny. Once every 100,000 years or so, when the sun doth shine and the moon doth glow and the dust doth blow.
Done. Sorry.
You know, And speaking of Pick a Destiny, I always loved that, like, that loosely inspires the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because they always confused me a little bit as a kid.
Oh, because they don't do tribute, but like that is literally supposed to be the best song. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it like is that the best song? What you're seeing in Pick a Destiny? Probably not.
I mean, the best line of the whole fucking song is like, "This is not the greatest song in the world. No, this is just a tribute. We couldn't remember the greatest song in the world." I just fucking love that shit. We couldn't remember it.
It's the perfect cop out. You know?
It's just a song about it. We couldn't remember it.
It's the name of the song.
I swear to God, man, like School of Rock is
School of Rock's a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 movie.
It's one of the best fucking things, and it's because the kids are great. The music for the kids is fucking hilarious. He's just like, and it's interesting because I feel like he is probably one of the greatest movie stars for. How old are you, Roos?
27.
For your generation, he is probably the biggest fucking movie star for your group. And it dates back all the way to that movie. And, like, he has been there for you guys, entertaining the fuck out of you guys. Yeah. I mean, the Minecraft movie is, like, literal, like, legendary stat. I still haven't fucking seen the Minecraft movie. I don't know if I would get it. I don't know if I would fucking enjoy it. But I do fucking know. For fucking lava, fucking chicken, Steve's lava chicken boy is crazy as hell. Ooh, mamacita boy, you're ringing the bell.
I think it's like, okay, well, there's layers, because the thing is, I don't like what that movie represents to me, because I think it's just a Jack Black vehicle, and it's kind of like, I don't like.
It's almost an Instagram reel of a movie.
Yeah.
Like, it was made so that I could see lava chicken on a fucking Instagram reel.
Exactly. And that's the problem, is I think a lot of modern films are moving that way, and it's more about creating moments or having, like, just the way they cast these things. Like, it's not about making a Minecraft movie. It's about, really, the movie, from my understanding, is, oh, look, Jack Black and Jason Momoa and their goofy relationship. And that's like the A plot, and then Minecraft's kind of a part of it. But really, a lot of it's them probably riffing and just having fun. So if you like Jack Black, you like Jason Momoa, you're going to love it. But that's not, to me, it's frustrating because that's not the Minecraft movie. But it's a mixed bag, because you're getting all these great songs. I mean, you got Jack Black doing music for the movie.
I almost got in a fight recently at the movies. So I went to go see, because and truly on the strength of Jack Black singing the Peaches song.
I was about to say.
Also, I'm a huge Nintendo nerd. Like, I collect Nintendo games. I collect Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo 64 games, mostly because those were the games that I played growing up, and I still have the originals. But, like, I have furthered and deepened my collections to the point where I've got, like, don't come rob me, but I've got, my kid could pretty much go to college if I sold the Nintendo game collection. I'm not fucking around. I got some real expensive gems in there. And so when I heard that Star Fox was going to be in the new movie, I was like, fuck me. Like, okay, I just want to go see what they do with this. My God, man. Like, watching that movie, I genuinely felt like I was having a stroke while watching it.
Why?
I just didn't understand what was happening. Like, there was no plot. There really wasn't. I was like, what? Why are we here? What are we doing on Casino Planet? Why is it in Super Mario Galaxy? Like, I just couldn't follow it. It just was like the most ADHD-driven movie I've ever seen in my life. And by the time I got out of it, I was just like, why did we need this?
You know what's weird
for me
is I thought, because I heard all that, and I thought, okay, so it's obviously like, it's all just IP garbage, vomit, nostalgia bait. Like, I'm just so cynical with all this.
Charlie Day and fucking Chris Pratt probably got a couple $1 million, and I don't think that either of them would have spent more than 20 minutes in a recording studio. Whereas I think that you and I have been recording longer than they would have fucking recorded for that movie. For the whole movie. For a whole 90-minute Mario Brothers movie. I guarantee you, Pratt has, like, seriously, if you go and you collect the amount of lines that are in that fucking thing, he doesn't have more than 15, 20 minutes of dialogue.
Yeah, but I saw this video recently, and it was like, I want to say it was Nintendo has a Mario problem or something like that. And so the video is talking about how, I forget the guy's full name, I want to say it's Miyamoto something. But
Shigeru Miyamoto, the guy who's fucking
made Mario, he made all this iconic shit.
The legend.
Yes, the legend. He's actually the guy pioneering these movies, and he's actually the creative head of the movie. And so
yeah, he's the guy who runs Nintendo. It's all his. He came up with Legend of Zelda. He came up with Mario.
But the reason it's different is because most of this stuff, when it happens with these video game movies, with all this, the creative director of the actual game, of the actual product, is not usually involved. Usually it's like people just kind of taking an IP and bastardizing
it. Yeah, sure, or furthering it or whatever.
Which is what's weird about this, because when I heard all this stuff about the second film, and I avoided both because I from the cast announcement, I was kind of upset because I'm thinking Chris Pratt is Mario, and then everything else surrounding it. There's a couple good choices, like Jack Black, Charlie Day. There's a couple good choices, but it's like, it's clearly, it's frustrating to me because I don't even understand that. Like, the movie's for kids. So you're selling it to kids who don't give a fuck who's in it. Why are you even casting all these big name? It's an animated film. No one gives a fuck if it's Chris Pratt's voice. No one even would notice the difference if you didn't have Chris Pratt in the movie. I promise. But you would sell just as many tickets. I promise. Because it's just kids. Who are you marketing? Who's this movie for? Like, I don't even understand that. And so that drove me nuts. But whatever. And then all the other stuff surrounding it with the first movie. I think people received the first movie mostly well. And then the second movie comes, and I've seen bits and pieces. And then the second movie comes out, and we have all this where people are saying it's not even a plot. It's kind of, it kind of reminds me of the discourse surrounding when Space Jam came back.
Oh yeah, the LeBron one.
Because it was IP garbage. It was just a bunch. They were trying to fit as many IPs as they could in one thing, and then you just lose the plot in the process. And so
I've only seen it work like that probably 2 times ever.
Maybe Ready Player One.
No, that one didn't work.
Yeah, people don't like that.
So the first and most successful time that we had crossover IP, to the point where there was so much in it that you wanted to see more in it, and it was successful. And it's successful because it was using an original storyline. I mean, it was based off of a book, but it was an original storyline that like was a through line for all of this, was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So Who Framed Roger Rabbit has this amazing original character that's at the front of the story in Roger Rabbit, and then all the Roger Rabbit minutia like Jessica Rabbit and then the Judge Doom and all the original characters for the film. So it had grounded original characters, and even if you didn't have Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny and Droopy and all the other like successful IPs that wound up littering the entire film, Betty Boop, like if you didn't have them, you still would have had a very strong group of original characters that could have filled out the Toon universe of, okay, this is 1940s Hollywood. We have all these cartoons that are running around town because cartoons and people live together. And it would still, the strength of the story is so ironclad, rock solid, and the original characters are so interesting and even of their own right that this works without that.
Yeah.
But now we add in the Easter eggs of like, here's Betty Boop at the Ink and Paint Club, and here's the Crows from Dumbo as the backing band for Jessica Rabbit, and here are the Penguins from Mary Poppins that are the fucking servers. And then you do have Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse making a big appearance. You do have Donald Duck and Daffy Duck making a big appearance. Like, it furthers the realism of the world of these cartoons, because real cartoons that everyone knows are in the world that we're depicting. And so that actually, it's not because Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse are in this movie. They're in this movie despite the movie. And if they were cut from the movie, it would have been that much just the same and great because of the originality of the plot and what we had going on. They're furthering it. The problem with these other IP slops, it's like, hey, take a look at this fucking IP slop. It's like, oh, he's driving the DeLorean in Ready Player One. Oh, like, hey, there's the fucking Jurassic Park T-Rex, or like whatever the fuck it is. And like Spielberg,
it's not a motivated choice.
Spielberg was not the person to direct that movie because of the fact that so many of his personal IPs are a part of that novel. Like, it needed to be someone paying homage to, not using things within his own locus of control. That movie is very important to me, Roger Rabbit, because it was the first movie that like I really remember seeing in the theater, and it provided me with my life's ethos, which is Roger Rabbit tells Eddie when he first meets him, because he's recently been accused of murder, and he's like, I would never hurt anybody. My whole purpose in life is to make people laugh. And I heard that when I was a kid, and it's like, man, I dig that. And he talks about like the power of laughter, and like it's such an important, it's a weapon for him almost, because it's a weapon that disarms you. Like, this thing about like how you can use humor to deflate a situation, or like if someone's having a bad day and you say something funny, all of a sudden like they're feeling comfort. You can use humor to disarm someone and make you feel like you're a safe person to be able to talk to, and it's all because of your point of view, your disposition, your ability to carry on conversation with people. Like I truly believe in using humor to make the world a little bit better, because even if it's like my one of my dear friends is the actor Paul Walter Hauser, who you would know from you know him from Richard Jewell, I, Tonya. He was Stingray in Cobra Kai.
I saw him on Rick Glassman's podcast. I don't know if he's done a lot of other stuff other than that, like for interviews.
Yeah,
he's great on there. He's
making
an awesome guy.
He's making the podcast circuit around right now. He's amazing. But we have this thing where it's like, whether it's for an audience of one or an audience of millions, like be as dedicated to it as you can be. Like he and I have made each other laugh privately in such a way where he is putting like I've just seen this guy put the full commitment into the laugh just for me that he would put into for millions of people that he's performing for in a movie or in any other kind of context. So like, I just really believe in doing it for the sake of doing it, like doing it for your own humanity, doing it for again, as much for an audience of one or for an audience of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions. Like it's just important to be connected to that intention and just like living your life that way. Like, why would you want to live your life in such a serious way that you couldn't find a way to be lighthearted? I mean, I see all these parents at daycare when I go to pick up my son in the morning, and they're just like humorless, like drones going through this. And I don't even understand why they had kids in the first place, because they just don't seem like they love them. They don't seem like they want to be there with them. And granted, every parent has their fucking morning, and I understand that. But when I see parent after parent, day after day, and I see them, and because I'm a comedian, I'm an observer of people, and when I see the same people coming in with the same fucking scowl on their face, it's just like, Jesus Christ, are you like that all the time for your kid? Your kid's gonna be fucking miserable. Like, I'm at home doing like fucking bits for him. I'm like trying to make him laugh. I'm teaching him all the different animal noises. Like I'm reading to him. Like I'm trying to fill his life with magic, and I just don't understand why anybody would want to live their life any other way.
Well, there are joyless people. My father was a joyless person in a lot of ways. And I claim to understand a lot of that through having someone like him in my life, because he kind of gave me the impression of like a person, like I always thought about it as like, it's as if his life had one phase where he was alive and then another phase where he kind of just checked out and all the good stuff already happened. And in his mind, it's already over. And like, I think people think that way a lot of the time. They think like life was a thing that already happened, and now I'm just going through the motions. And that's sad to me, because I think life is happening all the time right now, and that's what's fucking awesome, is that right now, all the time, you have the chance. It's like a choice that you get to have. Like, do you want to live or do you want to just exist? And you get that choice. And like, he used to say to me, my dad used to say to me, death is guaranteed, life is not. And I would say to him, like, what does that mean to you? Because I knew it meant something different to him than what it means to me. Like, to me, to him, it's like a literal meaning. Like, you get to live, you could die any day. But to me, it's far deeper than that. It's like saying you have a choice all the time. And I remember I talked to him about this, and he just was like, I don't even know what you're saying. Like, if that's the type of conversation we have. He didn't think this way. He didn't understand the philosophy that I'm laying out to him. And I couldn't even explain it, because to him, I'm overcomplicating things. Like, why am I overcomplicating this simple phrase? But it's like, no, you're missing the magic in the phrase, and there's magic in everything if you look for it.
Sure.
But if you just accept this premise that everything's over and the world's over and there's no magic, I'm an adult. I've grown up. There's no magic. There's nothing. I look around. I just see things. I see objects. I don't see anything inside of them. And so it's like, if you accept that premise, I think life can become that. And you need people to come along to inject that joy in you. And you need people to shine that light and remind you that that's always there. So and I think life will suck it out of you.
Not to get dark or too personal here, or whatever, we're fine. My dad got a diagnosis a couple of years ago. He got diagnosed with Parkinson's. And
Oh shit! I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay because he's been living with it. My mom's been incredibly helpful in terms of taking good care of him and getting him in front of the doctors and the care that he needs. But like, it's one of those things where Parkinson's can take away what Parkinson's will specifically do is divorce your brain from dopamine and also divorce it from like some of the receptors that you need to do tactile movements and stuff like that. So he often like would walk around and not be able to laugh at things, but it's strictly because before he got a diagnosis, it was like, well, why is he being such a prick? It's like he's not being such a prick. He's got this diagnosis, which is like kind of fundamentally changing his personality.
Wow.
And once we were able to get him on some of the drugs that they're using to treat Parkinson's, like things were easier and opened up for him a little bit, and like he could crack a smile and laugh at things again. But when I told him that he was going to be a grandfather, and this would have been in the like spring of 2023 because my son was born in the summer, and I told him he's going to be a grandfather, he was just like, okay, like he just didn't really have the kind of he didn't have
There was no spark.
he didn't have the excitement that I was expecting of giving. Like if someone tells me I'm going to be a grandfather, first of all, how? He's 2. But no, when someone tells me that eventually, hopefully, Leo, you tell me that one day, I'll be nothing but incredibly excited because I'll just know that like the legacy that I've given to him is going to even be extended into his legacy now and that kid and so on and so on and so on.
Yeah.
But like I remember telling him this and like just seeing no spark and seeing no enjoyment and no excitement. And I was like, I kind of caught him later and I was like, hey man, I was just like really hoping that you were going to have a different like reaction to this. And he just goes, I'm 74 years old. What kind of grandfather am I going to be to a little kid like that? Just defeated and feeling like he's not going to be able to have any kind of an impact.
Yeah.
It's kind of that funny thing where you see them bring a dog home to like dad and dad hates the dog at first. And then all of a sudden, like dad and the dog are like the dad's like, we need to take the dog back. And all of a sudden, before you know it, the dad's like sleeping with the dog, and the dog's like literally going everywhere with dad. That's exactly what happened to him. As soon as
That was also my dad, by the way.
yeah, as soon as my son came and he met his grandson, like he has been all about being Poppy and being all about being in this kid's life and making him laugh and doing silly stuff. And like when they're together, like it really, really warms my heart because I see him kind of returning not only to his own like youth as a child, but also to like the dad that he once was to young kids. And like it's you think that you're not gonna see joy in something, you think that you're not gonna be able to like pick that beautiful thing out, and there might be some doubts around it or whatever, but like then when you get in the moment and you see the thing and it's just like, holy shit, like no, I was meant to be this kid's grandfather and I was meant to be a good grandfather and all that kind of stuff. So like again, it was like one of those things where it disappointed me at first, but like everything always turns around, specifically if you just put the beautiful thing in front of someone.
Yeah, and I think that like how those people who have that worldview, they need things to drag them out of it. Like it sucks because my dad, I remember the last day I spent with him, I remember he was having he was kind of spiraling out, like just kind of upset. Like he was the kind of guy who you'd wake up on the wrong side. He literally slept on a couch. So he'd wake up at the wrong side of the couch and just feel like shit. And he was kind of sickly for like the last 10 to 15, 20 years of his life. Like he was doing great.
When did he pass?
Just a couple years ago now. I want to say 2 years ago.
I'm sorry for your loss, bud.
Thank you. And so I remember the last day because I was going to Michigan. I was visiting him. And I just remember having this thought because it was just something stupid. Like he told me show up the next day at this time. So I show up the next day at that time and he's still sleeping. So I say to him like, hey, you told me to show up now. And he's like, all right. Immediately, I wouldn't want to wake him up because I knew he'd be annoyed and angry if I wake him up. So I was trying to avoid that when we arranged it. So I show up and I say, all right, well, I'm just standing here. You haven't gotten up yet. And then he's like, all right, I'll jump out of bed. So now he's stomping around the house. We're doing what he's doing. And he goes to the dog's hungry. He goes to pour the dog food. And I remember the food just spills everywhere. And that was like the last straw for him that morning, right? So now he's like, and he goes and sits down. And so I remember in that moment, I was just thinking, and then throughout that whole day I was thinking, because this was kind of, I was talking to him, I was just thinking like, oh, this is kind of like an opportunity for me. Because, I shouldn't be judging like this person's my dad. Like I know him more than anybody. I shouldn't be judging this person and thinking like, why is he acting like this? And I think that's the more youthful, inexperienced thing to do, is to judge that person and to say, oh, he's acting like that because he's an asshole or he's just a jerk. And it's up to me, especially as his kid, to parent him and to push him the right way and help him, and to recognize that he has the same shortcomings that I might have, and it's actually a two-way relationship. And it sucks because my dad passed away not shortly after this, and I remember he passed away shortly after that, and I remember thinking like, I just remember having that thought process that whole day and thinking like, oh, like this is actually, I should treat it like this moving forward, because I'm an adult now, as an adult, and I have an adult relationship with my parent, and that's different than when you're a kid, and I can treat that differently, and maybe I really can help in a way I couldn't before. And I need to speak differently. I need to speak more positively, because it's the way I speak about these things that could influence him and push him the right way. And I shouldn't be so judgmental, and I probably am not giving him enough credit. And so all these thoughts, and it's like, I just think that it's just important in general to like think about everybody like that. Like, you don't know why someone said that thing you deem to be hateful. You don't know why someone is carrying this energy around. You just don't know. And it's so easy to just write them off or say that they're a bad person. And like, I knew my dad really closely, and he didn't. The thing that was different too is, I remember like going to his funeral and just the way people talk about him. People remember the joyful side of him and the nice side of him. And I feel like I got to see this other side reflected. And I think that's in all of us too. Like we have a side that we put on where we can give life to people and I think I got that from him in a lot of ways. But we also have that other darker side where we might be a jerk and we might be an asshole. And I think seeing him taught me a lot about not giving into that, and just always recognizing that like everything I do all the time matters, and people remember you for every single moment, and they remember you for those little things, because it's a test of your character, how you react and how you respond, and patience is a virtue, and all these things, and that stuff changes you if you carry that with you, that type of grace, if you have grace towards others.
We were talking about that earlier with Adam Sandler. And he's on like the highest level of that, like worth $500,000 or $500 million.
And he's had grace forever.
Worth $500 million and doesn't need to have that. But
the proof with him is the way that he employs his friends.
True, and he takes care of his people. Like I've had this thing for a really long time, and I hope that I carry myself with a wealth of integrity and a wealth of love. And I want to be someone specifically, like I've taken time away from the comedy scene, specifically our comedy scene here in Chicago, and I'm always somehow connected to it, but like the times that I'm the most active within it, I really love having the community of it, and I really love having the people that I see every week, and the people that I do shows with, and like the people that I have the camaraderie of being a comedian with. I love that, and what I always want to make sure is known about me by my reputation, not just by people who know me directly, is that like, yes, do I want to be one of the funniest? Of course I want to be one of the funniest. Like I want everybody to be like, oh, Tom Bambara is fucking hilarious. I would trade all of that for people to say, oh, Tom Bambara, he's the nicest. Oh, yeah. Tom Bambara, he's such a sweetheart. Oh, Tom Bambara, yeah, he helped me out of a jam. Oh, Tom, he's such a great person to talk to when you're in need. Oh, Tom, he really is focused and able to connect with me when I need it. Like, I would trade every fucking punchline, every fucking laugh. I mean, I wouldn't say that because I need it for myself to keep going. But like, I would I don't have to be the funniest.
He's not funny, but he's the nicest guy.
I don't have to be the funniest, but I do want to be the nicest, because I want people to feel like they can rely on me, and I want people to feel like shit. Like when times are tough, I can call Tom, and Tom's gonna help bring me back down to earth, or Tom's gonna help me find perspective on whatever it is that's troubling me. And I try and make myself and carry the torch, because like, I've had good people at my back from when I got started who carried goodwill. And like I want to be a good example for everyone so that like when, you know, I always try and dap everybody up and give everybody hugs and stuff when I see them at mics and just like let them know I see them and that they're, you know, it's good to see them. I've had a rule that I try and still employ for myself, even though I'm an old head now and I've been around this fucking thing forever. But I still try and do it. My 2 rules whenever I go out for a mic and I'm writing are 1, always tell a new joke, no matter what. And I won't say do that in a show because you should do tested, tried and true stuff. I kind of will. I'll sneak something that I've never done in front of an audience, and if I have a really good feeling about it, I'll do it. But like ultimately, like do things you've tested. But when I go mic, when I'm writing, always try something new because I know it might be scary to not go up in front of a bunch of people without stuff that like. Especially if it's like a higher profile like place where you're going to be seen like by people that could book you on something like that. I get that you would want to, you know, potentially like just stick to things that work, but like always try a new joke. Try a new joke, try a new version of that joke, different tag, different like punch up, whatever you can think of to try and make it different. Try a new thing every time that you speak into that microphone. Try something new. And the second rule, make a new friend. Because all of this is about building community, building your own brand in a way, making people know you. Who knows who you're going to meet and who you're going to establish a friendship with. I mean, like, I saw Paul Hauser in a room at Merkel's in Wrigleyville, in a back room of a bar with a bunch of other comedians in 2012.
He's from Chicago. I didn't know that.
No. He's from Saginaw, Michigan, and then he was in LA for a little bit. Then he came back to Chicago for a little bit, and then he went back out to LA. Okay. But I met him like in the back room. And you don't know who is going to be one of your lifelong best friends. Like, you don't know that's going to happen unless you go shake someone's hand. Like, a lot of times, like, people think that they know me, which is kind of funny, too. Like, they'll see me and they'll, like, think they know something about me or they think they know who I am. And, like, they won't even, like, shake my hand and introduce themselves. And then they're coming up and telling me, like, you call me by my name and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, man, like, hi, I'm Tom. Like, could we, like, actually meet and like could you like learn something about me? Could you
Someone
like
did that to me and I was really confused because I thought, is this how this works?
That means your podcast is successful, but people fucking know who you are.
Yeah, well no, dude, he mentioned my dog and my cat. That threw me off because I thought, have I met this guy? And then I looked it up and like I was like one of those people I'd sent a message to and he saw it and never responded and I was like, huh? Because he greeted me in a way where it was like, oh, hey, man, like, so
it's
nice to see you.
It's like Hollywood. Like, you think that everybody in Hollywood is friends because they're all on TV. Like, a lot of times, like, people, if you go to enough shows or go to enough mics and you see the same people, like, you hear, specifically if, like, people are talking about personal things on stage, like, you hear enough about it, you think that you know them. You actually don't know them at fucking
Yeah, it's all, like, parasocial.
So, like, of course. Yeah. So, like, you need to make sure that you go introduce yourself and shake hands with that person. And then, like, fucking talk to that person the next time you see them or, like, ask them how they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, just
I almost
just
felt
connect.
bad for being thrown off. Like, I almost felt bad for not knowing what was going on because I had to kind of awkwardly yes-and the situation to make it go smoothly because I didn't know what was happening, and I did. But I just remember afterwards, like, and it is a Hollywood LA-esque thing where there's a grace to it in the sense that you should be vague enough to where like it should be so nice to see you. Like. What was odd about it is the specificity of what he said. Like he said, how are the animals doing? And then he asked something about like the podcast or something like that. But just like it'd be like I guess you're right. He probably just because that's what I was thinking afterwards. He probably saw a video of mine. He probably thought he met me. He probably actually thought he maybe had said hi to me and met me before. And so in his mind, the whole thing is normal, and he's met me, and I'm probably the weird one for not remembering. But really, he's just scrolled and saw my face 20 times.
I will tell you, if someone asks me how my kid's doing and they call my son by his name, it does make me feel a little bit different than people who just like ask how the kid's doing, or people who like are just like, oh, you're a dad now? Oh, let me see him. Like people, like if they don't know. If you don't know that I'm a dad, you have not been paying attention to my fucking social media at all. So that just means I'm like some fucking tertiary like nugget of nothing. I'm not showing up in your algorithm. Because literally, like from 2023 until 2025, like I didn't post content and shit like that. I posted like my son, me and my kid. My wife's fucking tagging me and all that kind of shit too. So like if you don't know I got a kid, first of all, then you're not paying attention to me at all. Yeah. If you know I got a kid, but you didn't necessarily make the investment to listen to me and tell, because I say his name a million times. His name's Leo.
Yeah.
But like people who come up to me like, hey, how's everything going? How's Leo? Like
Yeah.
that makes me like be like, oh, that motherfucker. I fuck with them. They're great.
They pay attention.
They know who I am. They care.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's the confusing part where I don't know if they know me from social media or if they know me from real life. And it really scares me because I know this is going to happen to me more and more, and I'm bad at that shit. I just kind of like, I fumble, dude. I go, ah. And if I don't recognize them, I feel like I'm awkward enough to where they feel that they're like, that was weird.
I'm also blessed with, and not a lot of people have this, so I'm not going to shit on anybody who doesn't have the talent. I'm blessed with the photographic memory, so I do remember pretty much everybody. It's hard for me to forget someone. It really is, especially if we shake hands and I meet you tell me your name. Like, I might forget your name, but I'm never going to forget a face. Like, I'm really good at like making sure that I know. Although sometimes, like, I hate to say this, like Clark Kenting can really fuck me up. Like if I know somebody and they don't have glasses and all of a sudden they're like in a little bit of a different look, that can fuck me up sometimes. But like, for the most part, like I'm pretty locked in and I can remember who people are.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a difference. I mean, and it's something like to be conscious of, and it's something to like remembering people's names and all this. Like the guy that's the door guy at Burton Place, I keep seeing him every time I'm there on Friday, and I asked him his name a second time. I can't ask again. His name's Murphy, and it's like Murphy's Law. And so now when I see him next time, I'd be like, "Sup, Murphy?"
There you go.
And he's gonna be like, "Hey, this guy really remembered my name," or he'll think fucking weirdo. Either way, I will remember you, Murphy. And it's like, and I think that stuff goes so much. It's kind of like what you said earlier about when you show up and just making a friend and those connections. You have no idea how much a little thought can carry and how much that little effort in making that connection can mean. Because it's like, that guy's saying anything about my dog and my cat. Damn, that's just a fucking throwaway thing. He probably just, oh, I remember that this guy has a dog and a cat. But to me, it's like, oh my God, he knows me. It's little things like that where you can make such a difference by barely trying. I mean, I learned that doing interviews. Just doing interviews, I remember, because I used to really like have questions, and it was a whole interview. It wasn't even a podcast. It was like I would show up and I would film them, and it would just be an interview. And to me, so much of it was, well, like what I learned is you don't even have to do that much research for people to be wowed. You have to take about 10 minutes and what the real trick is, just ask them like a good, like, when you said this, why did you come up with this? Or like, what was, like, ask them what intrigues you? Like, what made them want to do this? Like, stuff like that. Because people like talking about themselves, and if you just get them ball rolling.
Well, I mean, you get a raconteur like me on, and fucking, hey, I'll fucking tell you a million stories. I could literally fucking talk for fucking 4 hours by myself.
You're easy, but some people aren't so easy. Okay?
They're not forthcoming, yeah.
Yeah, and so what I learned is, and it just takes a little bit. It doesn't, that's the real thing, is people think like I think even the best interviewers, like the best, they're not doing as much as you think they're doing. Like even a Nardwar. Nardwar's probably just making like 5 phone calls to close friends.
Don't know how he does it.
I don't know how he does it either.
I honestly, the shit that he digs up, I don't know how he does it sometimes.
But I think a lot of it is just knowing people close to the person and just asking a couple questions like, so you're their mom. I mean, when they were a kid, did they do anything that you remember that might stick out? Like stuff like that, where it's like, if I pull that up in front of you, you're going to, and I can never reveal my secret, of course. But it's, and then you'll see like I heard Sean Evans, the guy who does Hot Ones. It's so funny because the only time I ever heard him say this was on the H3 podcast. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that? Mm-mm. So H3, I mean, he's a popular YouTuber. He's like notoriously not that good of an interviewer. So it's kind of funny watching him talk to this other guy who's a fantastic, I would say top 5 interviewer. He's talking to this other guy who's amazing. And he's kind of like fumbling that interview even. But there's a nugget of knowledge because Sean Evans says to him, like, he asks him, what makes a good interview? Why are you such a good interviewer? And Sean Evans' answer is like, that when he watches interviews with celebrities, like when he's researching a celebrity, he'll try to look for moments when they're talking about something and then they get cut off or the subject changes and you can kind of see that they wanted to go into that more. And I felt like, bro, that's genius. That's like next level advice right there. Because like all you need is just to watch a little bit of somebody and just see what lights them up and what makes them want. And that's kind of a general principle you can just follow in life. Like people will tell you what they want to talk about. They'll give it to you if you let them.
So I love I love finding out just a little something about something like that and then trying to surface it. So one of the things I do love is a Q&A, like with a celebrity, if they will go to the audience for questions for, you know, we're going to see a talk back with whoever and they're going to go to the audience for questions. I do my fucking best to try and like be one of the people that gets to ask the question. I got a knack for getting picked, and I have a knack for things probably the stage presence type of thing. I just have a way to make myself real big and like get picked all of a sudden. So I'm actually in, and I'll show it to you after the thing because I've got like a really shitty like flip phone recording of it from 2007, but they haven't replayed it in forever, and they don't have this archived in a very meaningful way, and I wish that they did. But do you know the Bravo show Inside the Actors Studio?
Yeah.
Okay, so James Lipton he basically had stage space at Pace College in like right next to the Brooklyn Bridge on the Lower East Side, and the Actors Studio itself, like the school was there, and I had a friend who had just gotten into the Actors Studio from college, and he invited me and my buddy up to hang out, and he had tickets to see Charlie Sheen on Inside the Actors Studio. So I'm in the Charlie Sheen episode of Inside the Actors Studio, and I got to ask a question during the Hear Your Students part, and I'm not even a fucking Pace student, but I literally asked one of the best questions, and I'm in the episode. So the question I asked Charlie Sheen was I knew that one of my favorite Charlie Sheen performances is he's in Being John Malkovich. Mm-hmm. He plays John Malkovich's like actor friend.
Yeah.
So, and he's just like, yeah, Coven of Witches, or like whatever that is when he's talking about Catherine Keener's character. So I knew, because I'm a big nerd and I looked at like the fucking, you know, random trivia on Being John Malkovich, I knew that he wasn't the original choice. Charlie Kaufman wrote Jeff Goldblum. Not Jeff Goldblum. He wrote Kevin Bacon. He wrote Kevin Bacon as the celebrity friend. And I knew that it was Kevin Bacon, not Charlie Sheen. It actually makes more sense because the Kevin Bacon game was a big thing back then, and it would have been funnier if John Malkovich is friends with Kevin Bacon. So I knew to ask Charlie Sheen about that role, and I was actually waiting for Lipton to ask about Inside the Actors Studio. I was waiting for Lipton to ask about Being John Malkovich, and I'm like, okay, like he's not getting to it. Why isn't he getting to it? Like this is a fucking hilarious Charlie Sheen kind of comeback type of role. It happened right before he did Spin City. Like, come on, where are we? He didn't get to it. So finally, I get the mic, and I'm like, so Charlie, one of my favorite parts of yours is when you did, played yourself in Being John Malkovich. Like, how did that come to be? And he's like, well, the part wasn't originally written for me. It was written for Kevin Bacon. And I knew that, so it was cool. But he wasn't available. I was like, oh, so you were available? No, I wasn't available either. I was in rehab. And they sent me this script, and they said, hey, you can get out of rehab for a couple of days if you come do it. And I was like, I didn't even read the fucking script. I just went and did it. Of course, I read the script later, and man, what a fucking brilliant thing it was. And what was funny is he asked me if any other actor could work for that movie. And I knew that Charlie Kaufman originally wrote that for Christopher Walken, but Walken didn't want to do it. So then rather than rewrite his entire script, he would send the script to other actors and be like, I'm going to tailor this to you, but this is the general conceit, right? So then he got Malkovich on board, and then he tailored it for everything Malkovich. But I knew that Walken was the original choice. So he goes, so who else could that movie even work for? And I go, Christopher Walken. He goes, maybe Chris Walken. And then they cut it in the episode. But in real life, Charlie Sheen was like fucked up on something at this point. And between the and now your students part, Charlie Sheen took his wife at the time into like the back, and they disappeared for 40 minutes. And I asked one of the students that was there, like, hey, is this normal? I was like, no, usually they just like reset the cameras and like it's 5 minutes. Like, this is weird that it's been 40 minutes. So anyway, they come, I'm not going to say what they were doing, but like they come from the back, and he comes back out, and like clearly he's like, something's weird with him. He hadn't been able to hear very well the whole episode because he kept asking James Lipton to repeat himself. Again, movie magic. You don't actually see any of this go on. And when he was asking me who Being John Malkovich could work for, he asked that fucking 10 times. He was just like, who else could it work for? I go, Christopher Walken. Maybe Chris Walken. And then that's what they show in the show. But then he goes, yeah, but who else? Who else do you think it could work for? And I'm like, I don't know, Jeff Goldblum. He goes, Goldblum, I don't know if enough people know about Goldblum, if he's weird enough. Who else could it work for? And I'm like, Gary Oldman. He's like, Gary Oldman, man, that guy's way too intense. He's British. I don't know. Who else could it work for? He fucking grills me, and like I'm running out of people by the time I get to like the 10th one. I'm like, I don't know. How about you, Charlie? Like, and I'm like over it. I'm like, fucking Charlie, move on from this. Like, I don't want to keep giving you actors that fucking Bean John Malkovich could work for at this point. Like, Al Pacino, yeah, Al, I don't know. Al's a little too high profile. Who else could work for? Jesus Christ, Charlie, how about you? Me? What? Me? Why would anybody want to watch me? And then like he and I get in like a little fight, and he's like, hey, all right, kid, that's enough. That's enough. And I'm like, dude, I've been done with this question for like fucking 5 minutes at this point. So yeah, that's the power of movie magic. You can just edit anything that you want to. I may ask you to edit this story out, but fuck it.
You know what else too is it's like it's a good example of Charlie telling you he wanted to talk about. I mean, clearly he was leading and he knew
I yes and
what
him.
he wanted to talk about.
How about 3? We could do 3. I'm like, I'm not having a fucking pint with you, Charlie. Like other people have questions. Like, let's come on.
My best one I can think of is Nick Cage, but even then he was just in like adaptations right around there. So I don't think it would have worked.
He is criminally underrated in adaptation.
I still haven't seen it. That's the one Charlie Kaufman movie I still haven't seen.
You need to stop taping with me and watch adaptation right now. I swear to God, adaptation I think is his best work. I really do. And
Nick Cage or Charlie Kaufman?
Both. I think that Nick Cage, and that's high praise for Nick Cage. But like Nick Cage he plays 2 parts. He plays Charlie and he plays his fictional twin brother Donald. And like the nuance of the 2 characters is insane in what he's able to do. It's a captivating performance. Meryl Streep's fantastic in it. She should have won an Oscar for it. Chris Cooper did win an Oscar for it. We talk about American Beauty, the dad in American Beauty. He's like this weird Florida man, and he was amazing in the movie. But that was like one of the movies that made me like really want to be a writer. It was just like
Synecdoche, New York is one of like the movies that just blew me away.
Yeah, you're the second person of your age group. That's one of my old friends. She's your age, and she told me that was her favorite movie one time. I was like, that is a fucking really awesome choice. I cannot believe you pulled that one out.
Oh yeah, it's in my top. It was in my for Letterboxd. It was my top 4 for a long time.
Wow,
because it's just such like it's a mind bending film, and the way that it ends. Like it transcends film in this, and I think Charlie Kaufman does that throughout all of his work. And it's just to me, like, you know, it like you said, it inspires you to write.
He's brilliant. Charlie is absolutely one of the most brilliant fucking people.
He transcends the format. That's what's so fucking incredible about it, is he takes whatever this idea is and he finds a way to make it, like, again, transcendent. And I think it makes it more human and easier to connect with. And it makes it almost a spiritual experience to watch his films, because it's not even, like, the plot is not so literal. And it's not even quite meant to be entirely literal. It's almost like a metaphor.
I'm very disappointed that he and Spike Jonze don't work together anymore, because they made Being John Malkovich and Adaptation together, and those 2 films, like, singularly brilliant pairing of director and writer. Charlie went on and did his own thing. Spike went on and did his own thing. They both won Oscars independently of each other. But if they could fucking reunite and make something, like, Spike Jonze hasn't made a movie since Her. Her was the last thing that he did, I think.
Oh, wow.
And
2013.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. He won an Oscar, and he basically pieced out. I think he was trying to get money to make another movie, and it didn't come to be. But, man, those 2 guys together. Spike Jonze responsible for one of the great Walkens of all time. Did you ever see the music video for Weapon of Choice by Fatboy Slim?
I think so.
Yeah, Christopher Walken, like, tap dancing and dancing on the ceiling and shit.
Yep.
Fucking amazing moment in 2001 for sure.
Did you see I'm Thinking of Ending Things?
I did see that. I wasn't
You didn't
crazy
like it
about
so much? I actually really enjoyed it, but just because I feel like I wasn't even like really direction or anything. It was just the Charlie Kaufman writing. I'm just a sucker for that shit, because I think the way the story was told is fantastic. And adapting a novel is kind of impossible. So, I mean, I think the novel is doing the same kind of like disillusion reality thing. What is real? What is not real? And I think also like again, it's that metaphor thing. I mean, like the film leaves it up to you, and especially with the way it ends. But quite clearly, it's about a person who is depressed, who is thinking about committing suicide. But by telling that story through such a framework, and then, you know, in the movie, it's a girl who's thinking about ending things with their boyfriend. And of course, the name says it all. But even then, like when you get to the end, it's not directly telling you anything. And I think like there's something that it's the magic in storytelling. I think David Lynch did it really well. And I think my favorite director of all time now is Andrei Tarkovsky. And it's because I think he does that better than anybody I've ever seen. It's almost like that dreamlike thing, but I think people take dreamlike and go too far, and then it's not even a plot. And I think David Lynch kind of ventures into that sometimes, where I have trouble connecting with it just because it's not even a plot. And maybe if it caught me at the right time, I would connect with it. But I just love this idea of treating it more like an art piece and less like just sticking to the script, quite literally, and doing it the way you're supposed to. Because it takes a visionary. It takes somebody who can know all the rules and then break them. Those are the people that drive the art form forward. And it's like a Charlie Kaufman who, it amazes me he doesn't get more credit, because I think he's fucking everything he writes pushes it forward in that direction, and he's so good at that. And there's only a few people I can point to where I think Vince Gilligan is one of the best TV writers of all time. And, you know, obviously I
like the new show. I'm anxious for the next season of it because I want to just see how it keeps going.
I don't know. Well, the question to me is, because I think Vince Gilligan's getting to the point where he's ready to pass the reins on to other people.
Sure.
And I don't think that's going to go well. I think that the reason everything he's done has been so great is because it's him.
He's so hands-on with it.
He's such a good storyteller.
He didn't need to do Better Call Saul, but he did. And because he did, it's you know what, I love Breaking Bad. I think Breaking Bad is a genuine masterpiece. I think Better Call Saul is an excellent supplemental series, and I think that some of the new things and the continuations I think the future stuff is fantastic. Kind of the what happens to Saul. I think a lot of the Jimmy storyline works really well. What I hate about Better Call Saul is the Breaking Bad minutia that it explains. Like, I just don't give a shit about how the meth lab got built. I really don't. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. And why should it matter to Jimmy's journey? Like, just take me on all of Jimmy's journey. I know it has something to do with Mike and like what Mike was doing during this time.
Yeah.
But kind of who fucking cares?
Well, I would look at it like this: if you saw the show without watching Breaking Bad, it doesn't really make so much sense.
You wouldn't care. And I mean, there are the most brilliant movie of all time sequel, in my opinion, that does both of those things, which is why Better Call Saul kind of is in its image, is The Godfather Part 2. Because The Godfather Part 2 both furthers the story and supplements the story by telling you the earlier part of the story. But ultimately, they're two independent things that work independent of each other. And if you were to stack it in such a way where you started the Godfather saga with De Niro's part, then showed The Godfather, then showed the Pacino continuation, it would all work as one genuine story that you would give a shit about.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I don't care how the meth lab got made. I just don't. Not everything needs a fucking origin story.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
It almost felt like, okay, we're just going to fill some time on this, as opposed to showing more of the dynamic of Jimmy and his brother, or showing more of the dynamic of Jimmy and how he lost Kim. I think that there would just be a little bit more to it than focusing on any of the fucking shit that connects it all back to Breaking Bad. Who cares?
Yeah. Which, to its credit, they didn't dive into as much as they even could have. They could have overdone that and made the whole show a Breaking Bad show. And the show really exists on its own when it comes to telling that story of Jimmy and Kim and Chuck, and it makes you care about all that shit in a way that nobody thought would have been possible following Breaking Bad.
I didn't want Walt to come back. It was okay that he came back for a second.
They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do it.
I didn't need him.
To me, the jumping the shark moment is when Kim talks to Jesse outside. I just can't extend it that much. I'm sorry. I'll take everything else, but that's too much for me.
Chicanery is probably one of the best episodes of television. That's what's crazy about TV now, is there are these highlight moments on TV that are just holy shit, that was one of the best things I've seen in so long.
Chicanery is so good, and it's what's so good about it is it's mid-season, so it's not even something you knew was gonna. You knew that. I think the way they were building that season up, you think the trial is going to happen, but you think it's going to be like the culmination of the season. We're moving towards the Jimmy versus Chuck trial, and that's going to be it. And then it just hits it with you in like halfway through. And not only that, like it's kind of what the whole show is building up to.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's all the fallout of that. The show kind of has like a midpoint, and it's that episode. And it really is one of the best. I mean, even just if you're talking like court episodes of a TV show.
I watched it independently of doing any kind of a rewatch with Breaking Bad because I met Michael McKean last summer. I took my brother to New York and we went to go see Breaking Bad. We went to go see Glengarry Glen Ross, which had both of them in it, which had Michael McKean and Bob Odenkirk. And talked to Michael McKean after the show, and he was just like the fucking nicest, sweetest guy possible. And he's really meant a lot to me. Specifically, his songs have meant a lot to me because he wrote most of the songs for the Christopher Guest movies, both being Waiting for Guffman and Best in Mighty Wind. Sorry, I'm fucking showing my old man age. I've also been talking to you for fucking 4 hours. So yeah, I met him last summer, and he was just so sweet. And I was like, man, I got to go back and fucking watch Chicanery like right fucking now. And man, is it fucking fire. I'll tell you the other one that's just got a singular episode that's really, really, really good, and I don't really like the rest of it for the sum of its parts. There's an episode of Euphoria that is like holy. You know the one I'm talking about.
No, I haven't watched the show.
Okay, there's an episode of Euphoria where like Zendaya's character is on the run, and it is like enthralling TV. And I'll admit, I am a huge Safdie Brothers guy. I love Uncut Gems. I love Good Time. Big Marty Supreme fan. Obviously, Marty Supreme showed that the Josh Safdie's the fucking creative force of
got the
Safdies.
sauce. He's got the sauce.
He's the one that's got the sauce, and his brother does not got the sauce. And I don't know why that motherfucker is a movie star. But
Punching machine.
I digress.
The smashing machine.
I like that kind of. Our characters are bad people, and they're making bad choices, and they keep making bad decision upon bad decision upon bad decision. I really like that.
It's like a story that's spiraling.
Oh my god!
That's how it feels.
So there's an episode of Euphoria that's like that, but the rest of the show, I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing right now?
Yeah.
And like now,
do you remember what season?
It's in season 2, and I forget which episode it is. I'll send it to you when we're done.
Okay.
But there's.
I mean, I would probably be fine if I just watched the episode, right?
I think you could probably just watch that one episode, and you don't have to bother with any other fucking element of that, because I think it's just such like I'm absolutely hate watching it right now, and I hate watching things.
It's season 3 right now.
It's season 3, and I don't understand why this show is sort of like Goodfellas, Boogie Nights, Pulp Fiction now.
And that's how they marketed it with the trailer. Everybody was just kind of thrown off because it seems like a genre
It was
switch.
supposed to be about high schoolers doing drugs and the bad choices that they make around that, and kind of like this weird melodramatic opera about these kids. And now it's just like, what are we even fucking doing? Why
it's
am I
the
tuning
classic.
into this?
It's the classic trick, man. You gotta subvert them in the writing room. They all expect one thing. Let's subvert expectations.
There are 2 shows that I think if you want to study what not to do with the show, you go watch these 2 shows, because one of them does an amazing season 4 and probably should have just ended the show. The other show does a pretty good season 4, but they jumped the shark, or season 3, but they jumped the shark and they completely mixed the show up. And they're both Showtime shows.
Game of Thrones is one of them. No,
Showtime. Nope. Dexter. After season 4, holy shit, is it terrible. It is so amazing by season 4, and then after season 4, it cannot find its footing again. And Weeds was another show that was like so fucking good until it was not. Jumping the Shark, I called it, where did they fucking move the show? They like moved the show to San Diego from wherever they were in the LA suburbs. And that's when the fucking show just like went off the fucking rails. And, you know, I think that there's something to it. And I was saying earlier about how TV is where we're finding the best stuff. I think that Danny McBride makes the absolute best television, period. And I think it's because it's disciplined. He has a very, very succinct story that he wants to tell. He uses 3 to 4 seasons to tell the story, and then he moves on with his life.
Yeah.
Like, I think Vice Principals is underrated as fuck and so fucking good. The Righteous Gemstones is an amazing, amazing show. They did a show where Bradley Cooper is like their ancestor, and as a standalone episode, it was one of the best episodes of TV I'd seen in so long. I thought Bradley should have won some sort of award for it, but Danny McBride knows the fuck what he's doing as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, and I mean, he's the funniest motherfucker,
Oh,
period.
yeah.
Dude, his entrance and This Is the End is still something. I could literally put that on at any given time and laugh my fucking dick off. He is so funny.
Remind me, what does he do? How does he enter the?
He's in a tub. So, like, basically, the whole world has ended and everybody's hunkered down in Franco's house. And they did, like, an inventory of all their things and all this, and they go to sleep. And then it's the next day, and McBride is like in a big bathtub asleep. He wakes and bakes. He like fucking just, hits a bowl. He like comes out and he's doing like his Danny McBride like fucking dance type of thing. Comes downstairs and he makes breakfast using all of their supplies.
Oh yeah.
Like he takes a bath in all of their clean water and like because he doesn't know the world has ended. And then he's like made breakfast out of all their supplies, which they were going to ration over several weeks. And he's, he just introduces himself to the movie. And like, I swear to God, like he is on fire that entire movie. He is so fucking funny. And like they knew that he's the best of the best. They knew like, okay, Danny's the funniest. We got to like just make sure that we can be as funny as we can be until a certain point, and then Danny's gonna come in and just fucking light this fucking thing up.
Yeah.
I truly wish that they would introduce a category at the Academy Awards, which is best comedic performance, and you could throw anything into that. It wouldn't have to be a drama or a comedy or whatever to qualify. If it's fucking funny, throw it in there.
Yeah.
Because there's one per year, I'm sure, that could at least. I mean, that my wife argues with me because like I think Alfred Molina could win like a best cameo performance type of thing for his short little stint at the end of Boogie Nights. She's like, could you even find like 5 performances that could fill that up? It's like if you like extended it to male and female performances, you probably could find like one best comedic performance or one like best cameo performance or something like that.
I think you could, yeah.
And that, but then like you like run into like, okay, well that makes how many more people members of the elite, because now so many more people are Oscar winners now, and I don't know. But like Danny McBride, if they could give anybody a fucking Oscar for being the funniest motherfucker on the planet, that's absolutely the movie he would have won for.
I like the idea of like a bunch of comedians getting like these like Oscar awards for because it's funnier if it's like a like I'm trying to think of a great. What could win a best comedic role?
Oh, Tom Cruise would be an Oscar winner because he would have won for Tropic Thunder.
That's the type of thing I'm thinking about, where it's like just an absolutely absurd role, and it's just we all get to bask in that. Honestly, Tom Cruise deserves it for that too.
He got a Golden Globe nomination.
Did he really?
Yep.
And there you go. Honestly, that's one of those things where I didn't know going into the movie, and so I got to have that moment where you hit the end and he's dancing and it says Tom Cruise. I got to have that.
Oh, good for you.
Because I think that the movie's designed that way, and most people don't get to have that because they already know. And I just remember watching the whole thing and then going, that's also what happened to me with Thor 4, because I don't pay attention to shit. I try to not pay attention to shit. I just know I don't watch trailers. I just try to keep it as basic as possible. Does that movie look interesting? Okay, that's all I need to know. Like Marty Supreme, I knew nothing, and that was great. And so Thor 4, I knew nothing. I watched the whole movie, and then I'm like, that was Christian Bale? That was nuts. So I didn't even like the movie, but that made me want to at least get a lot of replay
My friend
value.
had that with Thor 3 because he does the same thing, and I took him to see Thor 3, and he didn't know that the Incredible Hulk was going to be in it.
Yeah.
And it blew his face off when the Hulk showed up. I was like, oh shit, you didn't see a trailer for this fucker?
It's so much more fun.
Not knowing, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they should. The problem is the way that the production works, because the people who make the movie, they're not thinking about most of that stuff.
That's why I don't watch Next On.
Yeah.
I rarely will watch like next week on. I just don't want to know.
Yeah, because it's not. That's just the people who like the network or the advertisers trying to hook you. And if you're
I'm already
hooked,
hooked. I don't need to see it. I'd rather be surprised.
Like I feel like I spoil it for myself just by even watching a little bit, and like trailers especially. What I like to do is watch the movie and then go back and watch the trailer,
See what they highlighted,
and
yeah,
see what I would have seen that I wouldn't have wanted to have seen. Like Marty Supreme was really fun to watch because I hadn't seen the trailer. I didn't even know the capacity of a lot of like the actor. Like I didn't know what Tyler the Creator was gonna do. I knew all these people were in it, but I didn't even know what they were gonna do. So that was fun, even just to see so and so pop up and. Oh, there he is. I've sat there. I think Tyler the Creator doesn't show up until like an hour and 10 minutes into the movie or something, and he's only in a couple scenes. But not, maybe it's about 40 minutes in. But he just pops in and out a couple times, and that was a lot of fun for me, because if you would have watched the promotional material, you would have already known the whole nature of their relationship. You wouldn't know. It just gives all that stuff away just to get you interested. And to me, it's like, I don't know. All I need to know is Safdie. That's literally all I had
For
to know.
sure. I mean, I'll go see anything that they do. There's like a list of people that I will always go support their stuff. Like whenever Tarantino gets off his ass and makes another movie, I'll absolutely go see.
It's supposed to be the last one.
It will be if he does it.
I think he's just going to pivot into streaming or TV.
Well, he's letting other people direct his script. So like he just wrote a script for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel.
He wrote that,
and
it's Fincher who's
David
directing.
Fincher's directing it, right? So like he might do that, but like he's not going to direct. He'll direct one last thing. So Tarantino, I'll always show up for. The Safdies, I'm always looking forward to. I think probably Villanueva is in the conversation. Nolan. I will always see a Christopher Nolan movie every single time. I'm interested in what the Daniels are going to do to follow up. I haven't seen what they've even got planned, but whatever they follow up Everything Everywhere All at Once with will be interesting. And Simon Baker. Simon Baker is someone that I will always show up for now. Simon Baker did Anora. He did Red Rocket. Florida Project. Also, I met him at the Music Box. One of the nicest fucking guys, period. Like, just such a sweetheart. Like, give that guy every single fucking award. He deserves it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I mean, I would say Scorsese still has it for me.
Nah.
No, you don't think he's got it no more?
Nah.
I'm trying to think of the
Marty's
last.
done. Marty's been done for a while. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry.
I'm protective of my people. Like, The Irishman was fucking terrible. Like, I couldn't handle de-aged De Niro fucking stomping somebody out and looking, even though he's supposed to be fucking 35, looking like he's 80.
I think it should have been 8 hours.
Oh my god,
I'm kidding.
Couldn't do that.
But someone was talking to somebody about that recently, and it's like it is kind of funny because I think what happened was Scorsese just wanted to work with his friends. But if we're being realistic, like
he never directed Pacino before.
Yeah, and he never directed Pacino, so that's probably most of it. And then you probably have guys in the back going, Marty, please just cast like Austin Butler as the younger. You don't have to de-age him. You know how much that's going to cost, Marty?
We're de-aging. We're doing it.
Marty was just like,
we got Netflix money or Apple money or whoever it was.
That's exactly it. He's beyond all that. He can do whatever he wants. He wants to work with his friends or de-aging. I think that's how that movie happened. Because if we're being real, it would have been a lot better. You just go the classic traditional route. You
would have been
hire
a lot better
younger actors.
if they didn't make that movie.
Yeah, maybe just don't make
I
it.
hate that movie.
I mean,
sorry.
I like it as it feels like it kind of reminds me of like if somebody like a Frank Sinatra was around for all these years and he comes back just to do one more concert. The Sinatra we all know and love. That's kind of what I like, the novelty of what the film even represents. It's kind of like you guys all liked Goodfellas. Let's just do it one more time.
They did that. It was called Casino.
Yeah, but that was right after Goodfellas. Arguably better than Goodfellas.
No argument.
Really?
No argument.
You don't think there's any argument at all?
No, there's no argument.
I gotta watch Goodfellas again.
Goodfellas is phenomenal. Goodfellas is like one of the fucking top 5 movies ever made.
It's flawless.
It's perfect, and it's long. Like, to say that about a 2-hour and 45-minute movie that it's perfect is like really fucking hard to do. But that
I
one
suppose
is very
what I like,
flawless.
Yeah, it's so good. And
Even the flaws
pacing,
make it even much better.
Yeah, and I suppose the only reason I would say that is because I think Casino takes that hectic energy and it puts it in an environment that complements it, and I really like that. Like,
Sure.
I like this idea of like the exuberance of LA, and I think Scorsese does that in a way I don't think I've seen any other director do quite the same as Casino. And it's just kind of following the template of Goodfellas. It's like that big directing style that I did in Goodfellas. Let's do it again, but in Vegas.
Well, that was part of the 90s, which was like the let's just get the whole creative team back together type of thing.
Yeah.
Like they did Pretty Woman, and then let's run that back with Richard Gere and Julia Roberts and the director Gary Marshall, and we're gonna do Runaway Bride. Like that was a thing in the 90s where we're just like, we're gonna do a spiritual sequel to everything. It's literally a spiritual sequel. We'll get all 4 fucking people back together and we'll do like another one.
That is what it. Man, I would prefer that over what we get nowadays, where they just make 4 of them. I mean,
Just
like,
IP after IP.
Yeah,
bullshit.
let's do spiritual sequels again. Let's bring that back.
Word.
But anyway, yeah, we can wrap this bad boy up. It's
Cool.
only been 3.5 hours. So.
Let's roll.
We always end this show with 2 things. Am I keeping this, or is this
Yeah,
for
that's
you?
yours. You can keep it.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll put it somewhere special. I try to fill up the wall and stuff, so I'll find a good spot for
Yeah,
it.
that's yours.
So yeah, folks, we got the Tom Bambara. I'm gonna put it back in front of the camera one more time, just in case you missed it the first time. Tell us, by the way, as I show this to the camera, what's like your favorite niche impression that you've got? Just like your favorite one that you pull out where people don't expect it. You know, it's not the common one.
Oh, Jesus
Because I see
Christ.
a couple on this list where it's like there's not. I can't even think of a purpose for it.
Yeah, you can't think of a. Let me see the list.
Billy Bob Thornton. Like, when are you pulling out the Billy Bob?
I mean, I'm rarely pulling Billy Bob Thornton out for any reason whatsoever, but I mean, it's there in case I need to rely upon it. Niche impression of these, because like I do over 100, and I just kind of pulled someone.
Oh, so that's that's just a fraction.
Well,
of the
these are the
list,
ones I know I can do to like a certain degree. I mean, Paul Giamatti is probably the one where it's just like, does anybody even want to hear that? That I do often.
I think it's pretty recognizable though.
He's who my ethos is based off. It's based off Paul Giamatti. He was like the happiest, like most go-lucky guy ever. By the way, my fucking whatever like incel version of himself I was channeling is absolutely not who he is. It's who his characters are. It's not who he is. I'd say the niche one that I'm doing right now that probably no one. I think people would get it, but like I'm still working it, and I don't even like know the I don't know the angle on it quite yet, but it's one that I'm like been like fucking working with it like just a little bit. It's Kieran Culkin from Succession, because like he's like this nepo sib that like sort of became his own thing, and like I don't know, he's seems like kind of a real fucking prick, and I really don't fucking like his ass, and I'm trying to think of a way to like take him down a little bit to peg, but like he's also like really coked up, but like also just like kind of weird and like doing his own thing, and like how about go fuck yourself? How about that?
Wow. That's an interesting one. That's not bad at all. It reminds me of someone, but I can't remember who. Maybe if I'll remember and I'll tell you later. It's like a YouTuber or something. There's something about that. Also, a very punchable voice, super punchable.
Oh,
voice.
I hate him. I met him too. I was talking about going to see Glengarry Glen Ross. I met him, and like somebody had just asked him before he got to me. Someone asked him. They asked him, they told him like, "Hey, Kieran, congratulations on your Oscar." He goes, "Oh yeah, I did just win that, didn't I?" It's like, fuck you, dude.
I know. I remember the guy I was thinking of. Let me see if I can find him while you bring up whatever other impression you're looking for on there. I know you got another one in there. You're looking at the list. Your eyes are glazing.
Yeah, man. I don't know if anybody really enjoys that I do this one, but Johnny Depp is someone that I've been trying to figure out a good angle on, man. And I used to do a pretty mean-spirited Johnny Depp at karaoke. This is Johnny Depp at karaoke. Worried about the upcoming trial. Johnny Depp at karaoke. Worried about the upcoming trial. Whoa, Amber's gonna take my private island too. Whoa, take all the salary from pirates too. Whoa, yeah, man. But fucking Amber, man, she shat in my bed.
Incredible, man. I can't find the guy. I'll send it to you later. It makes me sad I can't find it because, by the way, it's a good Johnny Depp.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome, man. Thanks, man. You're welcome, man.
Everything was fine until the drugs kicked in.
Oh, and a voice I figured out I can do, and I think this isn't bad.
Are you doing Jason Statham?
I'm trying to do Christian Bale, but I'm doing...
are you trying to do fucking Christian Bale? Christian Bale is kind of in there. I mean, you got to like. It's hard because he speaks in his American accent quite often, especially when he's Batman. But fucking Christian Bale, I do Christian Bale bragging about his great roles. You fucking see me in The Fighter? I was amazing.
In The Fighter, I was
see me in The Prestige?
Amazing.
Phenomenal.
The Prestige, I was fucking phenomenal. He had me acting in a way that I've never acted before. And I said, Nolan, where do you come up with this? And I started to get mad, and I started to yell at the light guy, and I had to calm down. You see, I get a little Austrian, and that's the problem. But
Austrian or Australian?
The same difference.
Australians. I used to do Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe being upset that no one likes his singing in Les Miserables. You know, a lot of people didn't enjoy my singing in Les Miserables. And I'll say, fuck those people. I love singing. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies to the north. Loyal follower of the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius.
No.
Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I'll have my vengeance in this life or the next.
If I were Maximus, I feel like I would take that to another level because I think he didn't get involved in that role at all. I think if I were doing that role, I would have went all the way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
I love that he just owned a T-Rex skull at one point. Like, I want to make so much money that I can be Nick Cage fuck off level of money. That's amazing.
Yeah, I just own a couple of cobras, a T-Rex skull, an original, and I mean original set of Star Wars figurines.
Basically, I wanted enough money to where I could buy a sword. And then I got 30 and I didn't know what to do anymore.
He seems like a sword guy for sure.
Oh my God, if there's ever been a sword guy, it's Nick Cage. He seems like a guy who would have a sword room. He seems like a guy.
He has like the armory that fucking Michael Keaton Batman has. Like fucking Robert Wall and Kim Basinger are walking through. It's like, who is this? Looks like he's king of the Wicker people.
I am the Wicker people. Did you see the Wicker Man? Ah! Ah! The bees!
The bees! Oh, the bees! No!
How do you always end the podcast?
Yeah, right. Like this. So at the very end of the show, this show's obviously for 3 to 5 year olds. All right. This is for kids. It's my core audience. And so I always give advice to the kids.
Okay.
At the very end, because they're listening. They're going to take off their earbuds, their AirPods. They're going to enter the real world. They're going to go off the school bus. They're going to touch grass. Mm-hmm. And so it's up to you to provide advice for them. Give them a little nugget of knowledge. We've proven that we're wise adults. We are monocles of information, and we just provide so much of that. And monocle wasn't the word.
You're an arbinger. It's okay.
I'm an arbinger, and
monocle's a fucking.
I'm an arbiter.
Right, so,
it's arbitrary. I'm not done.
Okay.
I'm not done. So you're gonna do that. You're gonna provide these little kitties with your monarchy of knowledge.
Okay.
We're getting there, and then also after that, the social medias, where people can find you, all right? Because they've spent all this time with you. They might as well see the places. They can see your faces.
Sure.
This comes out about a month from now. You're going to plug any dates, anything like that. Just keep that in mind. But they love you. They love you. They want some more of you. How are they going to do that? I don't know. The floor is yours.
Cool. All right. So 3 to 5 year olds, just always be yourself no matter what. You're only going to be don't put yourself into a box for anybody else. Like, don't try and adapt yourself for anybody else. Be who you are. There's going to be someone who thinks that you're awesome just the way that you are, and is that you're special just the way that you are. Don't worry about how people receive you necessarily. Do what you think is right. What I mean by that is, like, I feel like I was very consumed early on with acceptance, whether that was acceptance from a friend group, acceptance from women when I was dating. Like, most important thing is to be the most confident version of yourself and to be wholly yourself. Because again, there's going to be, I know it sounds tough to specifically, like, if you're giving somebody advice about, like, you know, trying to find the love of their life or something like that. Like, it's tough to hear this, but like, that person is going to find you only, and I mean only, when you are the truest and best version of yourself. So try and stay as authentically yourself as possible, because that weird, beautiful, crazy person that is you is going to make you unique, make you stand out, and try and nurture all those things in you. Because if you turn those things off, you cannot live a full life. It's following your dreams. It essentially is what it is. It's making sure that the things that you care about are things that you continue to care about. And I hope that you have people in your life that give enough of a shit about you that they're going to help you find those things. Like, I'm very passionate about, because I've got a little boy that's literally the age of that I'm trying to give advice to, and I support everything that he does. And if he's gonna fall in love with someone and have a hero, I want him to meet his heroes. I will take him to whatever concert, whatever sporting event. I'm literally taking him to see Monster Jam at Rosemont in September. because he loves monster trucks and he has all the monster trucks, and I want him to be able to fucking stand right next to El Toro Loco and hang out with El Toro Loco and hang out with Gravedigger and Megalodon and all that. And he's going to have such a great time. So I hope that everybody supports your passions, and please follow your passions even if they're unsupported, because they're important to keep alive, and no one can tell you something is stupid if you believe in it, unless that thing is racism, which I don't fucking subscribe to, even though I do black voices on stage.
Nice asterisk at the end there.
You can find me at Tom Bambara. That's at TOMBAMBARA, pretty much everywhere. Instagram is where I typically post my stuff. I got a pretty good string of shows coming up here. Just thinking about when this will drop. I'm at the Lincoln Lodge at the end of the month. I am at Zanies on June 1st. I am at... let's see. I'm on Tight Ship probably when this is going to drop. So I'm on Tight Ship down in the South Loop at Half Sour at the end of June. Got a couple of other things here and there, but I'll give them to you for you to potentially put in a story if they make sense. How about that?
And all that. And folks, you can find them on the social media. So if you want to see those dates, all you got to do is literally go.
I post, shit. I post calendars and show posters and all that kind of stuff. So you can find me. You can find me.
You can find me. If you're looking, you can find me. And thank you so much for joining me here today on the one, the only.
Scared the cat, man.
Clocking out.
Double down, competition couldn't help him to rock. Missed the whole time, holy fell through the flock. That's an ordinary miracle, wealth to the block. It